What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Buckles Locker. This is your host, Isaiah, coming to you again. Subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share all the videos. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you all new videos that's posted on this channel. Shouts out to all the Pirates and Sea Bandits. Thank you for supporting this channel. We are here with another edition of Locker Room Talk, the recap of Saturday's preseason game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Tennessee Titans. Those of you that was there with me during the live stream, you saw the game. The Bucs lost 13-3. We fall to 0-2 in the preseason. It's okay. But let me get this out the way. But before I do that, I always do this. I don't know why. Give me some shout outs real quick. Cover 2 Spy. Caron Ball Chief. Caron the Ball Chief. DSG Carlos. Perry Mathis. Neil. You wish. What up, man? Sal. Young Deezy. Damian Street. Haitian Boy. Fred. Roy, what's up, man? All right, so everybody okay? Everybody calm down, right? Everybody's breathing easy today. Everybody had a good weekend. Everybody's relaxed now. There's no panic. Tom Brady's back. Like I said, Monday or Tuesday, he'll come back. Family vacation, like most of us expected. Some people try to spin a narrative about Matt Singer and divorce problems and all this extra stuff. It had to be something with the family. It was just kind of obvious, right? You know. So he's back. Took a trip. Had a vacation, basically. It was a vacation before school started. So all is well, back on the forefront at the quarterback position, so we don't have to worry about Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask taking the reins at quarterback for the Bucs for the 2022 season. If that was the case, I would have to make some adjustments with that schedule. Either one of those quarterbacks, obviously there's a major gap there, but with Blaine Gabbert, 7-10 at best. Kyle Trask at quarterback, 4-13. So thank, whew. But we gonna have to do this next year though. I'm letting y'all know now. I already made my prediction on that. Whether he retires or not, I think this is last season with the Bucs. Just too much going on in outside of his football world. The big contract with Fox, $375 million. It's going to be the highest paid, I guess, analyst, commentator. I don't know. I mean, $37.5 million, 10 years. He has no reason to come back next year. So I hopefully y'all have y'all mental mind state together for this season and really cheer hard for the Bucs, because it's going to be a different feeling next year. Retire, unretire, leave of absence for a couple days, 11 days, vacation in the middle of training camp. That's like leaving a job. A lot of people, when a lot of people leave a job, they don't leave the job that day. They leave the job before they leave the job, if that makes sense. That's how it usually goes in the workforce, no matter what industry. When people leave jobs, they already checked out mentally before they leave the job. And there's always telltale signs that can give you an idea of what's about to happen, right? So, yeah, there's a slight chance that he does come back. I mean, which would be great, but it doesn't seem like there's a if I had to put a percentage on it, less than 20% chance he come back, which is still high. I would say 20%. We'll make it even. Uh, exactly. 20% chance he comes back. 80% chance he retires or he's somewhere else. Front office, ownership, another team, or retired. That's your options. But because I know when I leave a job, I don't just leave. I don't wake up that morning and be like, I'm done. It's always pre-planned, right? You always do some things. You take some interviews. You talk to some friends about some openings or whatever. And you make your plans like 6 months in advance, 3 to 6 months in advance. When you just done with your current job, you're like, I'm ready to go. But you don't up and just leave right away. You just tend to look at some other things. And if you got any vacation days, well, I did it. I didn't use my vacation days. I sold my PTO days back. I made a lot of money off of that. Made some good money off of that. Not a lot. I made some good money selling my days back. I don't like taking leave. But usually you take your PTO days, but use them all up. And you got to take leave, obviously. So you got to have time off. Football is a bit different from what we do out here in the real world, right? Like, football is entertainment, sports entertainment, right? They have a commitment a certain time of the year, and when you commit to something, you kind of like you work it out. And just like any other job, it's still life, right? It's still life outside of your job, no matter what industry you're in. And sometimes you just got to take some time off. Now, in Tom Brady's situation, it was very. It's not normal. Let me just use that phrase. Right? It's not normal to see that happen. To see a player at that magnitude in the middle of training camp be like, I need to take time off. I don't remember a player doing that. So what's going to happen? And Brady's a trendsetter. So what happens is when somebody does something like this or set the tone, moving forward, do not be surprised next year, next preseason, or next training camp next year, that we're going to see more players, especially high-level players, take time off in the middle of preseason or in training camp. You know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised. We're going to see this again. Brady won't be the only one that does this. He's the first to this amount of time, 11 days, but he won't be the last. There will be other guys, high-level guys, that in the middle of training camp, they're going to be like, I just need some time off. And then when they do that, what's going to happen is they're going to reference the Brady situation. Well, how come he gets to do it? I'm Aaron Donald. Why can't I do it? I'm Bobby Wagner. Why can't I do it? I'm Leonard Floyd. I'm Robert Quinn. I'm Roquan Smith. I'm Marshawn Lattimore. I'm Tyrann Mathieu. I'm Dak Prescott. I'm Justin Herbert. I'm Joe Burrow. Josh Allen. I'm Derek Carr. Devontae Adams. I'm Max Crosby. I want to take 10 days off after the first game, before the first game starts, before the first game of the season start, or the first preseason game start, or after the first game. I want to take time off. Yeah. I'm Jamar Chase. I want to take some time off. I'm Austin Eckler. I want to take time off. My body just ain't feeling right. I'm not feeling right. I'm just saying. It's going to happen again, folks, whether y'all like it or not. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Yep. So we're going to laugh, too, when other companies other teams be like, no. It's gonna be funny when another team be like, and somebody try to ask for like 8, 9, 10 days off of training camp. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny. But anyway, I just want to kind of put that out there. Start the show off with that news. He was at practice today, threw the ball around, and we're not 100% sure if he's going to play Saturday, which I don't think he's going to play. But if he does, great. Get some reps in. I'll probably play a series. Probably. I mean, it'll be beneficial to get him a couple snaps, but you got to be careful with all the injuries that's been happening with the Bucs. You probably want to put everybody on bubble wrap because after this weekend's preseason game, got 2 weeks. You got the 2 weeks to finish up your installs, to make your adjustments. You got to release players, you got to sign players, you got to practice squad. There's a lot going on between the minute that game is over with up until September 12th. That's 2 weeks of a lot of roster moves across the NFL. You're trying to finalize your playbook, your playbook going into the season. You're making all your adjustments. This is important. This week is important for the Bucs to have a good week of practice. And, I don't know if the starter's going to play, but if they do, maybe like 4 plays, just to kind of give them that feel, because after Saturday, you ain't playing no games until for September 12th. So we're going to see how that works out. So I know people don't like to put emphasis on preseason because it's like, oh, what's the point? It's really for the second string, third string guys, the backups to the backups, who going to make the roster, because you pretty much know you pretty much got your top 35, top 40 on the roster already every season, unless you're making some major changes, a turnover, something like that. But for the most part, at the minimum, you have your top 30. Like, let's be real. You pretty much got your top 30, 35. And the rest of those roster spots, that last 15 to 20 roster spots, always up for grabs. Unless you got a deep roster and you pretty much just saying the top 40 is already taken. We just look at the next 8, 48 game day, and 53, you know what I'm saying? So then you got 16 on the practice squad too. So you gotta be looking across the league to see if you can snag up some guys and put them on the practice squad, because there's going to be a lot of good players. I've been watching a lot of preseason games, so there's a lot of good players that's not going to make the team. There's going to be some surprising cuts, no matter what position. Every year there's always surprising cuts. A name that you be like, oh, how did he get cut? Just didn't factor in, But anyway, let's get down to the preseason game. Let's talk about it. Bucs lose 13-3. They played the game at Tennessee. Not a lot to talk about from you got the good, bad, and ugly, obviously. So we got to talk about it. The good, y'all gonna laugh when I say this. Keyshawn Vaughn had 10 carries to 54 yards. Had some couple good runs. Leonard Fournette had a decent showing. He came out first 2 series, I think, and he played. He's in shape. What I'm saying? He doesn't look out of shape to me. Unfortunately, the receivers didn't do much. Devin Tompkins had a really good catch down the field. Tyler Johnson had a couple catches, but nothing really stood out that was like, oh my gosh, So it was an off week for the offense. The offense didn't do anything. Like it was hard to sustain drives. There was penalties. The O-line, had some penalties. They missed some blocking assignments in the interior part. It was quite a struggle offensively. But the Bucs ran the ball as far as yards per carry pretty well. So the Bucks had 22 carries for 74, 90, 74, was he? 93 yards. 22 carries for 93 yards, so that was pretty good. So they ran the ball better, which I kind of wanted to see anyway. Versus last week, the 30 carries for 88 yards, they had 22 carries for 93. So that was a big better outing, a better showing from the running game. Pass blocking was quite meh. You know, my emphasis was on the interior O line, and nothing really stood out. Even from the first series, it's pass blocking. Now, run blocking was great, right? Straight. It's great. Run blocking was straight. You know what I'm saying? Nothing really bad about run block because they ran the ball well, right? You know, but I did not like the pass blocking, especially interior. And the interior from the beginning, Robert Hainsley had some snaps, obviously. As a unit, I didn't like it. Stinney was right guard, and we'll get to Stinney in a little bit. And Luke Gedeke was left guard. And Shaq Mason didn't play, obviously, right? So he'll make a difference on the right side. As long as he's not going against a powerful nose tackle or D tackle, like Chris Jones, Fletcher Cox type, big mammoth Jeffrey Simmons type defensive tackles, Shaq Mason to be fine. Remember, he's 6'1", 300 pounds, 306 pounds, short arms. So, like I said, he wins with quickness and leverage, but sometimes he gets overpowered, and it's nothing you can do. And just watch the tape. And New England was like out of here, and they drafted Cole Strange, the guard from that. I forgot what school he went to, but Cole Strange has not allowed any pressures at that position that Shaq Mason got, booted from. So Cole Strange looks like a keeper, a starter. He's going to be an immediate starter. Surprising pick, but I'm not saying that was an upgrade over Shaq Mason, but Belichick was not feeling Shaq Mason no more and just traded him for a bag of chips. And the Bucks, smart enough, jumped on it, and because he graded out well. And I'm not going to use PFF metrics, but he plays pretty well. So we're going to see coming from the AFC to the NFC. And there's some good D lines in the NFC. Rams, Saints, Washington football team. There's some solid D line. Even the Carolina Kitty Cats got some juice in that D line. Eagles, a healthy Brandon Grant. You know what I'm saying? They got Fletcher Cox. Jordan Davis. They got some guys. Giants got some guys in the interior. I'm just throwing some. Just saying like defensively, D line wise, not team wise. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Shaq Mason turns out because we really haven't really seen him like kind of get a good feel. This is why I don't know if they're gonna play, but it'll be nice to see to get a good feel of Shaq Mason. But I don't think we're gonna see that until the first game of the season. And Dallas, they got DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. That's outside. I don't like their interior, but that's a whole nother video. But we're gonna see. But from a preseason game standpoint, I didn't like it. Did not like what I saw overall. Now, did they have some good moments here and there? Of course, particularly in the running game. But overall, I didn't like the progress. I just looked at it like Tennessee just like manhandled the Bucks O-line. It didn't matter. Hainsley, Luke Gedeke, it didn't matter. Fred Johnson, it didn't matter. Josh Well, it didn't matter. Stinney, it didn't matter. It just felt like Tennessee was just Bogart. Andy Bogard. That's a Fatal Fury reference. But Yeah, I just felt like Tennessee was just more aggressive in the trenches. The Bucks, they were flat. You know, it was a rough week a rough week of practice against the Titans. The Titans were very chippy, grimy, grit team, and the person that kept getting under everybody's skin was voila, Jeffrey Simmons, top 10 D tackle from Mississippi State, SEC country. And he's a problem. Had Leonard Fournette punching him and fighting him and stuff, and he just kept doing stuff that just was aggravating. Donovan Smith was trying to encourage the team, the O-line to block better. It just didn't look good the whole week. Our DBs was getting cooked by some no-names. Now, we'll get to the defense in a little bit, but offensively, yikes. You know what I'm saying? Scotty Miller had a chance to make a play, a deep ball, a nice ball by Kyle Trask, by the way. And he dropped it. That was not – nobody stepped up to take that 6th and 7th position. If, 7 is possible. But that 6th and 7th position, nobody really stepped up and grabbed it, right? Because we got to believe that Tyler Johnson is going to take that 5th spot, right? But that 6th and 7th position, nobody stepped up and took it, right? Now, Devin Tompkins had a catch, but nobody took it by the horns and said, I got this 6th wide receiver spot, right? So it's going to be curious to see the snap count for this weekend's game against the Chargers, I believe. I think it's the Chargers. But, I mean, Stearns had 2 catches. Fournette had 2 catches. Rudolph had 1 catch for 3 yards. What did I tell you about Kyle Rudolph? If you think he's going to be a receiving threat, like a major receiving threat, not going to happen. Not going to happen. We're not going to see Julio Jones get a chance to see him in preseason because you want him under bubble wrap. We don't want him going out there hamstring, So now let's get to the defensive side. Now the defense played well. Matter of fact, let me go back and look at something real quick offensively for the Bucks. And somebody said in the chat, the Bucks were the only team that did not score a touchdown this weekend. Is that true? Is that true? Is that true? Were the Bucks the only team not to score a touchdown this past weekend? Because I watched pretty much all and everybody scored. Every game I watched, everybody scored a touchdown. You know what? Yeah, that's right. Everybody scored a touchdown but the Bucks. Think about that, folks. I watched a lot of preseason games this weekend. Friday, Saturday, I watched games Sunday. Everybody scored a touchdown. Except for the Bucks. That's bad. 174 yards total offense. 3 points. Last year, the Titans beat us 34-13. Or it was a 34-3, something like that in preseason. So for some strange reason, Titans always beating us up. 81 yards passing. And that's net. I guess that's net. 3.2 yards per play. Two for 13 on third downs. Allowed 4 sacks, had 7 punts. Four penalties, which is good. They only have 4 for 30 yards. 1 fumble loss, 1 interception thrown. Had the ball for 25 minutes. The Titans had 255 yards total offense. 117 passing, 138 yards rushing. So they ran the ball. Only 3.9 yards per play. 14 first downs. That was an ugly game. The Bucks had 9. Titans' third down efficiency was 3 for 15. Ugly on both sides. They converted 1 4th down, 1 for 3. They had 65 plays. They allowed 4 sacks. They punted the ball 6 times. They had 9 penalties for 75 yards. They had 1 interception thrown, no fumbles lost, and they had the ball for 34 minutes and 50 seconds. Yikes. Ugly, wasn't it? Offensively, it was horrible. But defensively, that's where you're gonna get your good part of the game was from both teams, but the Buccaneers in particular. The Titans have their own channel. They could talk about what they did breakdown wise, but defensively, the Bucs did very well. Outside of a couple plays here and there, I'm gonna see if I can pronounce his name correctly. Olefule Fatukasi. 03. That's what he said. He called himself. 03. Olefukala. I had it. I just had it. I went over this before the video. Olefulike Fatukasi. 03. That's what we call him. We're gonna call him 03. Fatukasi. So I got it right the first time. I have to keep practicing that. Fatukasi. So number 53. 03. He had 9 tackles, 1.5 sack. He made the team. I don't care what Todd Bowles say. Casey Rogers, Larry Foote, Harold Godwin, Keith Armstrong, Clyde Christensen, Tom Moore, Mike Greenberg, John Spivak, Jason Light, Ole Futukase, 03, make the team. Ole Futukase made the team. Grant Stewart, KJ Britt, one of you going to have to go. One of you got to go. That man is a linebacker. He plays a lot better than Grant Stewart and plays faster than KJ Britt. Now, Grant Stewart is a special team dog. Got to have those guys on special teams. We need that. We'll get to that in a second. KJ Britt. Ooh-wee. Boy, he in trouble. Both of them, really. But if you had to keep one, you keep Grant Stewart because of special teams. But KJ Britt, he looks more of a natural linebacker. Cover a little bit. Definitely can tackle. 03 is a beast, man. But KJ Britt didn't tackle well. Overran some plays, man. And it was like bang. But JJ Russell looked good out there. Pat O'Connor had his half a sack. D. Delaney played well. Tryon played well. Anthony Nelson flashed a couple times. Sanat was holding it down in the middle. Got that half a sack with Pat O'Connor. Shouts out to Pat O'Connor, man, special teams guy, you know. Dietrich Sanat, USF. Temple Terrace. T-Town. Andre Anthony. LSU, right? Let's see who else. There was some, like I said, some guys. I'm naming some guys, man. Carl Nassib came in. I watched him a little bit. He's still a little rusty. He was trying to rush the quarterback a few times, and he got stood up easily. And that's just maybe conditioning and all that stuff, working some technique. But Carl Nassib did get stood up a little bit, and look, a slight concern. It was against backup linemen. That I don't even think some of those linemen that Tennessee got that was playing gonna be on the team. So that's slight concern with Carl Nassib. But like I told y'all, I mean, straight line pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna beat him on the bootleg, but he doesn't have a lot of moves. Not quick twitchy. Him and Anthony Nelson are almost the same. They literally, if you look, if they stood next to each other, It's almost like the same player. They got basically two Carl Nassibs, or two Anthony Nelsons. Anthony Nelson looks like he's ready to make a little jump. Got a low ceiling, but just I want y'all to keep an eye on that. Secondary, the one that stood out to me was Gardner. Gardner had a couple plays that he played well. He actually defended well. Donald Gardner played well. Bug Howard didn't show anything. He'll get cut. Geiger, I forgot that's the receiver. I didn't see nothing from him, but what else? Logan Hall played. I think he had like one pressure. Logan Hall is a work in progress. I like his ceiling. It's just gonna take him a little longer. Because he can flash here and there. He'll show some strength, but once he understands the hand placement when he's engaged with a guard, because he's the 5 technique, right? He's playing 5 technique, so he's lining up between the guard and the tackle, and he's going to be engaging the guard's outside shoulder quite a bit. If he lines up right hand down, he's on the right guard's right shoulder, right? Or if he got a 3-point stand, full point, depending on how they rush him, but he's gonna have to learn how to disengage a little bit better, and be a little more stout against the run. But that just comes with growth. That just comes with growth. And Logan Hall, he'll line up and down the line, the 3 technique, 5 technique. Sometimes they'll probably line up at the 0 tech, certain downs, because he has a frame, But as he gets better and understands the game, he just got to understand when you engage with a guard or a center, have some moves, because this is the NFL, and you better have a counter move. I'm working on some things for the regular season, and I'll be doing a lot of I'll be looking at a lot of coaches' tape. We'll be looking at it together. So I just want to give y'all a heads up. We'll be going through some coaches' tape together, and we can break down some of these games. After the recap Mondays, we can break down some of the plays and some of the key plays and some things that we can see. I didn't do it for preseason, but I'll do it for regular season. So stay tuned for that. I just want to throw that in there real quick. So I'll be breaking down some film together, us. And we'll go over some things, right? And we'll get a little more in depth, with teams, schemes, and players and all that stuff like that. So, but yeah, Logan Hall just got to get some counter moves. He needs, he got that one bull rush move, and he doesn't know how to disengage and a spin or a swim, the Warren Sapp, hand slaps. He just kind of he just rises up and just pushes you back, because he has long arms, and he got to learn how to use his quickness and his length to his advantage, and that'll come in due time. But that's just technique, though. Warren Sapp working with him, and that's just technique. Meanwhile, and somebody brought it up already, but I want to throw this out there. Meanwhile, Travis Jones over there in Ravens country, the Ravens flock, is going to get a lot of playing time. Most likely going to end up starting this year. Watched the game yesterday. Yeah. He hurt his knee, but he'll be ready for week 1. But what did I say about Travis Jones in the second round? I'm just saying, the dude, when I look at Travis Jones tape, and like I said, I like Logan Hall. He's going to be fine. And I look at Logan Hall tape in preseason. Travis Jones here. Logan Hall here. And don't worry, Logan Hall will catch up. It's just Travis Jones he's already there. Like he's already backup guards and can't block him. Backup centers and guards can't block him. 1-on-1, you're not blocking that dude. I literally watched the game. You're not blocking that dude 1-on-1. Backup guards and centers are not blocking that dude. They can't block him. So what's that tell me? He's a starter. Or he's going to be in heavy rotation in Ravens country. Calais Campbell says that dude is ridiculously strong. He know how to shed blocks. Remember I told you about Logan Hall? He got to know how to disengage. Travis Jones don't have that problem. He know how to disengage and move. I mean, he does the same thing Logan Hall does, but at least he has a disengaged move because of his brute strength. And that's what Logan Hall has to get better. Has to get stronger. He was able to get away with it in college because he was like the biggest dude on the D-line, right? But in the NFL, everybody's strong in the trenches. But when I see Travis Jones, he's a rookie and he's stronger than pretty like he was making those dudes look bad last night in the game before. So, but Logan Hall will be fine, folks. Just give him some time. He just need to gain, some more strength. I don't know about weight, but more strength and more skills. But just right as of right now, and I told y'all this, I'm gonna track this. Logan Hall. Travis Jones, Logan Hall. As of right now. Now, during the season, Logan Hall will catch up. I believe he's gonna develop pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? I just think he just need to get some more time. Didn't see nothing from our tight ends. I want to jump on that too, and I'm going to reference some real quick. I didn't see nothing from Cade Otton and Cole Keff last night. Cole Keff is a blocker, H-backs type thing. I don't know why they're not throwing the ball to Cade Otton. I don't know. But on the flip side, back to the Ravens again. I watched that game last night. Isaiah Likely, 4th round tight end. Yikes. That dude. I don't know how in the world did Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina last until the 4th round. A lot of teams passed him up. He's going to make a lot of teams, a lot of defenses can't sleep. Can't sleep. Him and I'm going on a little tangent, but him and Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely had 8 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. And they kept throwing the ball. And they couldn't stop it. And I'm sitting there wondering to myself, why couldn't the Bucks do Cade Otton like that? Just feeding the ball, just I want to see Cade. I want to see our guys do that too. You know what I'm saying? And I was just sitting there looking like, dang, like 31 teams for basically 4.5 rounds passed this guy up. And he looks like the best tight end in the draft. And he was, I think, the 9th tight end drafted. He's better than Trey McBride. For some strange reason, the Cardinals they tried to throw him the ball, but they really weren't trying to get him the ball. I guess they're big believers in Zach Ertz still. But Isaiah Likely looks like the best tight end in the draft. Is going to be a starter, and at some point, probably a Pro Bowler if he stays healthy. He's like a receiver, basically. They say like a Darren Waller, but that dude is really good. But I saw that in Coastal Carolina. Now, the reasons why he probably went in the 4th round is blocking. They was questioning his competition, what he went against. But from what I seen last night, shouts out to the Ravens. And I know I'm on the sidetracking right now, but I just got to say this because I like to see young guys in general come into the league and do like right away, because that tells you a lot. Like this dude was underutilized or whatever. He didn't get a lot of shine, but in the Senior Bowls and stuff like that. But shouts out to the Ravens. Travis Jones and Isaiah Likely. Two good picks right there. Two starters. And they got a couple other guys. Ravens, that's a team that they know how to draft, man. I gotta give it to them. Sorry, Bucks fans. I'm talking about the Ravens right now, but I like football. You know what I'm saying? I like to give guys like that shout outs. Shout out to those two rookies. You know, we got our own now. We got K. Otten and we got Logan Hall. They coming. Don't get it twisted now. We got some dogs on our side too. K. Otten and Logan Hall. But I got to give the Ravens scouting department some you know what I'm saying? That's good picks right there. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to the Bucks. But also I want to talk about special teams. Now, the punter did pretty good. Jake Kamada had some really good punts. He punted 7 times. He averaged 50 yards a punt. 50 yards a punt. Ryan Suckup made a field goal. Rashad White had a 33-yard kickoff return. Punt return, for some strange reason. We'll get to that in a second. Walking the plank coming up in a little bit. And then we'll get to the Powers and Sea Bandits. Ryan Suckup hit a 52-yard field goal. And like I said, the kicking game was fine. You know, as far as like Jake Kamada and Ryan Suckup, they did what they had to do. My issue again is why can't the Bucks cover punts and kickoffs correctly? Why can't we get that part of the special teams up to par? Why are coverage units on punt return and kick return are so flawed? And then you look at the first 4 games of the season, and I say this to say this. Cowboys, Cavante Turpin. Saints, Devontae Hardy. Was it the Chiefs? Nico Hartman, Pringle. Chiefs special teams are always good. Packers, Amari Rodgers, and whoever else they got back there. That's 4 teams with good special teams units. Returners. I have a concern for the Bucks punt and kickoff coverage units. I do. If you think the Bucks kickoff units and punt return units are good, what you been watching? Now, granted, the guys that's on there right now, all those guys are not going to be on the team, but I'm just saying, I don't have any faith in Keith Armstrong. I'm sorry. I just don't. The Gunners don't do a great job in containing. They give up too many returns, like good returns. And it don't have to be like no 40-yard returns, but it'd be like 15, 20-yard returns on punts, on punt returns. And the kickoff return, you're like, what are you doing? So, thanks. And I want to circle back to Kyle Trask. Blaine Gabbert didn't look good either. I forget about that position. Blaine Gabbert didn't look good, really, to be honest with you. 3 out of 5 for 13 yards. It was like, you know, Kyle Trask, 11 for 24, 105 yards, and an interception. He didn't look good Saturday. And it was a combination of a lot of things, right? Drop balls, not separating. The old line was woeful. And also you got to factor in sometimes Kyle Trask didn't look good in the pocket. Now he made a couple throws that was like, oh, okay. Like the throw to Scotty Miller, that was money. Got to catch that, man. You know, It was a off-platform throw too. And there was a couple other throws that he made that was like, okay. But if I had to grade Kyle Trask, and remember 11 for 24 for 105 yards, he got to take some blame for that. You know, not all because the O-line played poorly, pass blocking wise, but Kyle Trask still got to take some responsibility because he got away with some possible. He should have had a couple interceptions. Kyle Trask probably should have had about 3 or 4 interceptions. Titans just kept, like, I don't know. But he should have had about 3 or 4 interceptions. He got lucky. Bracket coverage. I don't know if can he read what bracket coverage is? You know what I'm saying? Like, he had issues with that in Florida. But he just, I know they asked Todd Bowles, did he take a step back? Todd Bowles said, well, not really as hard. Now, he didn't take a step back because you got to factor in, I got to look at the tape. Well, from looking at the tape, from what I seen, that's a step back. Like I said, it's not all his fault, but based on last week to this week, or this past Saturday, that's a step back. That's not what you wanted to see in a second round pick. Fighting for a position on the roster as a backup quarterback. Remember what I told y'all? If he doesn't win the backup job, red flag. As a second round pick, the last 2 drafts, look at the quarterbacks. Look at starting or backups, except him. I think Matt Corral would have been a backup if he didn't get hurt, because Baker Mayfield got named the starter for the Panthers. I think the Panthers would have figured out a way to get rid of Sam Darnold at some point, and Matt Corral would have been the backup. Desmond Ridder the backup. Malik Willis the backup. Sam Howell probably going to beat out Carson Wentz. I'm just saying, man. And this was the game that Kyle Trask, if he would have played like he played last week, this game, going into the third game, I'd have been like, oh man, Gabbard in trouble. But and I'm gonna say this: Gabbard's the backup. Gabbard's the backup. I don't know if they're going to look at the third game and say, yeah, he played. If Kyle Trask threw for 300 plus yards in the third game, does that make Kyle Trask the backup? No. I'm going to go ahead and say it now, folks. Kyle Trask did not win that backup job. And this was the game to really show it. And it's disappointing. I rooted for the guy. Like, I'm a Gator all day. Orange and blue all day. Blue's my favorite color. But you got to be realistic with yourself. He did not win the backup job. He didn't build off that first preseason game. If he would have gave me another game like that, I'm telling you, I'd have been pushing for that on this channel. Like, oh, he got the backup job. Give it to him. If he would have came out and hit us with a 18 for 24 for 250 yards, a touchdown, and a pick, I'd have been fine with that. Didn't do enough. Which explains, if you go back and look at Kyle Trask's career, dating back to high school, it's always been like this. Takes him a while. High school didn't start at all. That's a flag. They couldn't beat out DeAndre King, the Houston quarterback that went to Miami, that's now barely can make a roster. You couldn't beat out that guy in high school? Now, high school is a different animal. Then he goes to Florida. You seen Florida quarterback situation? So you got there and you sat there for 5 years before you started playing. He was a red shirt junior when Felipe Franks got hurt. And then he got in the game, and then he took off from there. And then his next season, he was a red shirt senior. And of course, he flourished. A lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards, Shout out some draft boards. They were talking about possibly first round. Goes to the Bucs. The Bucs picked him at the 64th pick in the end of the second round. Thought it was a bit high. He was more of a 4th, 5th round quarterback. But the Bucs picked him because they felt like, yeah, we're looking for the future. I understood that. So I get it from why they picked him perspective, but where they picked him, that pick could have been somebody else. And I went through that already before. The guys that got picked after him, or the guys that got picked in the same round. Bucs possibly could have traded up to get a guy in the second round that was more impactful right away. D-line, O-line, second, And there's a couple guys that was after him that has been more impactful at other positions of need for the Bucs. That would have helped the Bucs in other positions. But I get it. The Bucs said, hey, Brady, you're older. Let's get a quarterback for the future. And at this point, in year number 2, last year he didn't even get on the roster as a rookie. Redshirted. Second year. You can't outright win this backup job after a whole year of learning the game? Bruh. Now, Jason Light has done a great job lately with his picks. But unfortunately, this pick, as of right now, ain't looking good. It's not looking good, folks. And I know you got some Kyle Trask fans out there. I'm a Gator fan all day. I call it how I see it. I'm a football fan first. So you mean to tell me our second round quarterback, if the Bucs keep 3 quarterbacks, which takes up a roster spot, to bring Kyle Trask on the roster is taking up space for other positions. Receiver, O-line, D-line, secondary, linebacker. The Bucs might want to keep 7 receivers versus 3 quarterbacks. The Bucs might want to keep 5 DBs or cornerbacks versus 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? It's a numbers game. 53 guys. Now the Bucs got to figure out, do we keep Kyle Trask on the roster to take up a roster space, or do we put him on the practice squad as a second round pick? I'm just trying to figure out how many second round picks in the practice squad. And I'm surprised the Bucs media ain't talking about this. But on this channel, I'm talking about it. Why the Bucs media ain't talking about this? Kyle Trask, is he going to make the roster? Because if he makes the roster, are you keeping 3 quarterbacks? Because he's clearly not the backup. Because Ryan Griffin, well, awkward. That's all. And nobody's talking about this. How can you justify keeping 3 quarterbacks on the roster? I'm just being honest. Look at the numbers. 53 guys. That's facts. Forget your feelings. 53 men on the roster. Got your 48, and then the next 5, that makes it 53. So we're going to have Tom Brady, Blaine Gabbert, and Kyle Trask, 3 quarterbacks on the roster. So that means 1 less player at another position to justify Kyle Trask being on the roster. I'm just giving y'all something to think about before y'all come on here and talk about what y'all believe in, what y'all think about, the game this past Saturday, and also other things around the Bucs. I'm just trying to see, how can you justify 3 quarterbacks, Brady, Gabbert, and your second round pick, which takes away a spot from another position of need. Now, injury related, Cam Gill, injured reserve, IR, out for the season, and Aaron Stinney, IR, out for the season. And those of you probably wondering, well, what about Ryan Jensen? He's not going on IR right now. They're going to keep his roster spot, and then when the season starts, then they put him on IR, so he'll be eligible to return, because if you put him on IR right now, he's out for the season. So they got word that he can possibly play November, December timeframe. That's why they haven't given us any injury updates on his knee. Because you got to think, at this point, we're going into game 3, and they haven't told us nothing about the knee. They keep, well, we don't know, swelling, we don't know. Okay, I get it. He's coming back. You just trying to hold the roster spot for him. So when week 1, when you make your final cuts, in a minute they do that, Ryan Jensen is going on IR, and he'll be returning, in my opinion, or give it a go, October, November, December timeframe, which is a risk. Because here's the thing. What if Robert Haynes is playing really good? Why do you bring him back? Why bring him back if Robert Hainsley figures it out early and playing exceptionally well, like a Creed Humphrey? What if Robert Hainsley becomes our Creed Humphrey or Eric McCoy? Young centers that's starting, doing really good. Why can't Robert Hainsley get to that point? Because if he does, then what do you do with Ryan Jensen? If Robert Hainsley is playing very well, what do you do with Ryan Jensen? Do you bring him back and insert Ryan Jensen into the center position after 11 weeks, and you take Robert Hainsley and put him on the bench? Do you put him at left guard? I mean, how does that work? Like, I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, the Kyle Trask situation, I want y'all to pay attention to that. Because I don't remember second round picks being on the practice squad in their second year. So before I bring everybody on, I got to do my walk in the plank segment here. Got to line them up. I got to line them up. All right. So we got to line these guys up. Keith Armstrong, the punt coverage unit and the kickoff return unit, coverage unit. Scotty Miller, line up. Interior O-line for the Bucs, pass blocking. Didn't like it. Line up. You, and you. All line up. Gotta line them up. I need y'all to step out there to the plank. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all know what time it is. Kyle Trask, you too. Blaine Gabbert, you too. KJ Britt, you too. KJ Britt, you too. I ain't forget about you. That's a lot of people, folks. Here we go. You too. Come on. Oh, you. Hey. You. All right, next. All right. Come on now. Hey. All right, who we got next? Kyle Trask. I'm sorry. KJ Britt. Keith Armstrong. Get your. Why you don't get. Oh, you thought I forgot about you. You thought I forgot about you, Scotty Too Hotty? You the last one. There you go. Walking the plank. It's not my fault. What is your hashtag? What does your eyes tell you? They all had to walk the plank. They all had to jump. All of them. The unit, the whole punt return, kick return unit. KJ Britt, Sky Zuhati, Keith Armstrong. Like, they all had to jump. The whole punt return, kick return unit. The coverage units. They had to. Now y'all can get back on this plank. Y'all can get back on this ship, but y'all better do better Saturday. Y'all gonna be jumping Saturday too. Or next Monday. Anyway, let me bring you guys on, man. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what we've seen in the game. What did y'all see in the Titans game? Give me your good, bad, and ugly. Interior O-line. Yeah. They all jumped too. Give me your take on the game. I want to know what you thought, your thoughts about the game. Let's start with the game first, and then we can get to other Bucs news, the injuries, Tom Brady and Kyle Trask. We'll get to that later. But let's talk about the game. So when you come in the locker room, let's start with the game. Hashtag, what does your eyes tell you? Hashtag, what does your eyes tell you? What did you see in the Titans game that you like? That she was kind of like, man, and you was like, that. The link is in the chat room. You know the rules. I ain't gonna repeat myself. Don't get me started today. I'll give y'all a couple minutes to get y'all thoughts together. All right, whenever y'all ready to come in, I'm right here. I'll drink my water. Give y'all a couple minutes. Take your pads off. Take your pads off.
What's good, y'all?
Oh, man. It's a lot of people in that water right now trying to help them out.
That's true.
Jesus, man, what's so that game was ugly.
You're right. I think you hit it. Pretty much in every phase. I want to say Gardner did stood out on the
Mm-hmm.
passing game,
Yeah,
but there was this one play on the run game. He had a free tackle on the running back,
he
and he
missed it.
completely. I mean, he got him, but he just like dropped.
Yeah,
And I was
I
like,
mean,
damn,
it's not.
maybe that just comes with the physical capability territory
Yeah, he was like
because
he didn't
he's a
want to.
little lanky.
Yeah, he didn't want to get in there and do a Thad Moss.
But I think if he could build that physique, I mean, maybe he could be a good factor for our defense as a rotational player as well.
Special teams too, man. He can definitely help out on that.
I wonder how his speed is. I don't know. Cole Cleef, though, it's not particularly on the game, but there was a highlight for the practice squad with the Titans, and he did a nasty grab on one of the DBs, man. Like it was a back shoulder throw, and he
Mm.
he literally threw almost 180 and caught that, and everyone was cheering. So I think he's a little sleeper for us, not knowing how good he actually he had two highlight catches in the past. You have to keep an eye on him because he may not look like he's the fastest,
Right, he's
but
slow as
let me
hell.
tell you, this dude got hands, all
Of
right?
course, usually the guys like they always got hands. They can't separate.
Exactly. But he'll go and get it. He's
Right,
got that
right,
tenacity.
right, right,
And if
right.
he could do the run blocking, you might as well just, put him over Kyle Rudolph, to be honest with you.
You know
Speaking
what?
of Kyle Rudolph, put him in the plank.
You know,
Because he had dropped a nice clean pass. And I don't know if it was from Blaine Gabbert
it was good
or
coverage though. I think that was a player.
no, he dropped it. You can
Which
see
one?
like he had a little frustration. It was the only pass he got.
No,
It was
it was
like
two.
a
No, he had two
outpost.
targets. No, he had two targets because he caught one.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm talking about the one he dropped with the outpost,
It
and it
was
was
a, yeah.
on fourth down.
It was up the field. He made it. It was like an out. And
Outpost.
no, the DB was like it
No,
was like the throw. I don't
it
know.
was there, bro. Look at it. It was there, and I'll
I
tell
gotta
you
go back.
why. Because he reacted. He was like, "Dang!" He did that kind of reaction because he had it on his hands, bro. He like, yeah, butterfingers on that play. It was the
Dang,
fourth down game or the fourth down play.
Kyle Rudolph. All right, man.
Put that dude on the plank. It was a nice, easy catch, and he
Kyle
just dropped
Rudolph,
it.
man. Let's. I know Cal. Cal. I know Cal. Come on, man. You dropped the ball, man, and your expectations ain't high. But you got whatever you get to thrown to you. You got to do something. Don't get mad at me. It was you wish. Don't get mad at me. He called you out, so you got to get to the plane. So here we go.
For real.
Dang,
That would have caused us another 3 points or a touchdown.
Kyle Rudolph, man. And I told y'all about the guy, man. I'm like, I'm not. My expectations is low,
Yeah, and
low for him.
Rashad White, very nice.
Like kickoff
I
return.
think even on that too, like he's just got great vision. Like I don't know what it is.
He runs smoother.
Yeah, and he's not like super blazing speed. He
Mm-mm.
just like I found the hole and I'm going for it, and he commits to it. And I think we got a good sleeper on him. Kind of reminds me, you know how like when we drafted Chris Godwin, and you see like the potential he has, and him
Yeah.
knowing that he's a sleeper. That
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of with when it comes to Rashad White. I think
We
he's that kind of sleeper.
we might have a Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard situation next year.
Oh, to pick up?
Like think about it. Uh,
Oh, you mean like the dual running back threat?
right, like
Okay.
Rashad White doing good. Like he shows up this season, and and it's like, oh my gosh, like as the season move on, like he's playing more kickoff return, and he getting some more running plays, and Fournette's getting paid. He getting paid. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
next year come, we're like,
That's true.
what do we do? Like, you know what I'm saying? If Rashad White like become that Tony Pollard type dude, bruh.
My surprise will be that what's the other running back's name? The one that
Talking about
got hurt.
Keyshawn Vaughn,
No, I
Giovanni
think he's
Bernard.
gonna take. Yeah, I think Bernard's gonna get cut, man. I think Keyshawn Vaughn stay in, and that's
Yeah,
another pay cut you can
they
save
gotta
money
keep
on.
him though. They gotta keep Keyshawn Vaughn, third round pick. They gotta justify that. You know, they gotta
Not
give him
just
one more
that,
shot. Yeah, they got one
but
more
then
shot.
when it comes to the money, you save way much more money. I
Yeah,
think you save like an extra 400,000
right,
if you look
right.
at the
So
differences.
yeah,
So
Gio's getting over 1 million. So
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
you
definitely.
save some money right there. And
Oh, it's
then
gonna be
what was
some
the other
weird
one?
cuts, man. Weird
Yeah,
cuts.
I mean, I don't know if that one's necessarily weird, but it would definitely be shocking.
Well, you know what? The thing about the telltale sign is this Saturday's game against the Chargers. How much who play like who plays and how much. That's gonna tell
True.
you. That's gonna give you an idea of like, all right, we know what you know you good. Like, I mean, the rest whoever plays outside of the rookies, you want some. They trying to figure out what's going on. Scotty Miller,
That's probably
Geiger.
why I think Miller is playing more than you think. And as a matter of fact, Holly Johnson kind of came out the game because they're already confident in
He got
him.
the
So
fifth.
they're
Look, I
like,
already said it. He got the fifth spot. He got the
yeah.
fifth. He got the fifth spot. That's no doubt right
Miller was
there.
playing the whole game. They was really trying to test him out. I think he's literally
He on the bubble.
on the
He's
on the
literally
cut
on the
watch.
bubble. I think all
Yeah.
of them. I think this Saturday, Geiger, Stearns, Tompkins, Miller, Grayson, all parent. I don't know if parent gonna play, but all of them gonna play. I think all of them gonna play.
We'll see. Yeah. I don't know. But I think you're right. The offense was pretty bad. I want to speak specifically on offensive line. I don't know what
Interior.
happened to Luke Odeki
Oh, he got beat on
because
some stunts, man.
he okay, so I know two plays he messed up. I did see that. But there was other plays. There was a run play, and I think Rashad White or Vaughn run. I don't know which one.
Vaughn, it had to be
Where
Vaughn because
he
Vaun was
went
getting
to
all
the
the carries.
second level and blocked really well. I was like, oh damn. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Luke Kodecki can definitely get better. You know what I'm
Is he
saying? Like
ready right now? Is he ready right now?
I think he has to be because of our thinning depth line
And when
and
he got
of our
drafted at too.
O line. Yeah, I think he has to be ready. I think he should be put on the spot like Alex Kappa, like he did in the first year when we got
It
him.
was rough. It was rough for Alex Kappa. It was rough.
Yeah, it's a learning scheme too. So I mean,
And look at the first 4 games. Look at those D lines.
yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
the
got
first game he did well. I mean, he did really, really well. The second game, he
Titans is
definitely
they just
messed
out
up
physical.
twice.
Titans was physical in the trenches, man.
Yeah,
Like, and I'm kind of worried because if he's our starter, and which actually I'll be more okay with it because for one, it's draft position. Because there's other linemen that's been picked first, second round. You got to put them in there. You know what I'm saying? Like you like in today's football, today's NFL, you get picked in the first almost 3 rounds as a lineman.
yeah.
You kind of like you in there, buddy. Like it ain't no well, and it'll be very disappointing for me his position when he got drafted at, and he doesn't start.
I will say he is doing better than the dude from the Saints. What's his Pennington or what's his
Talking about
name?
Trevor
The
Penning,
tackle.
two
Yes,
different positions though.
true. But like as far as like the struggling for their respective position, Penning is struggling bad. He ain't got no lateral movement.
But it's that's why it's hard to compare a guard and a center. Like trying to compare them on how they play because they graded on different. You know, remember now Luke Gedeke, he was a right tackle at Central Michigan,
True.
going all the way to the left side, not left tackle, left guard. You know what I'm saying? So that's a transition period. So we're gonna have to be patient with
Bukaki.
Luke. Yeah, we're gonna have to be patient because if you think he's gonna come out the gate against the Cowboys and the Saints, Chiefs with Chris Jones, and
He'll
then
survive with the Cowboys, but I don't know about the others.
the Packers with Kenny Clark. Good luck.
Campbell.
I'm just being honest because I just don't see him surviving after the Cowboys for a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? He's just gonna learn on the job. He's gonna figure it out. But it's good that he'll go against those fronts and those tackles, defensive tackles, in those games that he played. So down the road, middle of the season, Luke Gedeke, he gonna be seasoned enough to be like, all right. So that second little wave in the second half of the season, that the Browns, the Ravens, the Bengals, and then the Saints again. That second half, that little run right there, he'll be ready for those fronts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
he'll have his experience in.
right, so it'll be a trial by fire. It's gonna get, and we gonna. I know. Some of us gonna be like, oh, what the heck? I'm gonna be more kind of reserved because I already know he's gonna take his lumps early. Robert
Yeah.
Hainsley gonna take your lumps
That's why I'm
early.
trying to be patient with Logan Hall too, because I know there's some upsides with him.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah,
can
yeah.
cover the wall good, but like you're right, his technique is not really there.
Yeah,
I
he
think he
don't.
needs more different techniques.
Yeah,
Um,
he's so busy looking for contact and want to stay on
yeah,
it. He want
and
to.
his reaction to a run play or a pass play is a little slower than usual.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause remember now at Houston, he was the biggest guy. It was just kind of like, man, this guy big.
Yeah, and
Like
it's a different level too. I don't think
everybody's
Houston.
strong.
What division is Houston in? I
Big
mean,
12. Well, no, it's a Big 12 or no AAC. AAC.
so that ain't no SEC or that ain't
Big
even a Big
10.
Ten or Pac-12.
Right.
So
So it's a little high ceiling. He got a high ceiling. I think he got a high ceiling. It's gonna take him some
yeah, we
time.
just got to be patient with those two right now, I
Right. Like
suppose.
Luke Gedeke and Logan Hall. We can't be like, now at first I was like, what with Luke Gedeke, I was like, well, there was some other guys and I was like, and I'm gonna stand on that, but I'm like, okay, he's on the Bucks, second round pick. He's gonna play a lot this year. So I'm like, as long as he develops the right way, that pick should turn out to be. I'm just being optimistic. You know what I'm saying? Like he should be okay. You know what I'm saying? As long as he's, kind of a Kappa situation. Like you said, it took him a couple years to kind of figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because he remember now, right tackle to left guard.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's gonna take about two like solid years because he's been playing right tackle for years.
Yeah, it'll be tough, man. I mean, I think he'll manage.
It's gonna be
Who's the
rough though.
coach for the O line? Carroll.
Yeah, Harold Godwin.
I think he does really well with our O lines, but like
Yeah, he helped
anybody
Kappa.
behind Gedeke,
He helped Kappa.
true.
Harold Godwin helped Kappa big time, and Kappa got paid. Congratulations! Shout out to Alex Kappa. Took him a while. Got paid. Now I am gonna be watching him over there though. I'm gonna be watching. All right, Kappa, you ain't out the woodworks yet over here. Now I'm still
Maybe he
watching
just
you.
cashed out and then he's like,
He goes, you know how this works. You know
yeah,
how this works. They
I
get
ain't
they
got to
get the
put too much
money.
work now. I got the money.
I got the money. Kappa's still young too.
That's true.
So but let's get back to this Bucks though. You didn't so you weren't overall impressed with the O line.
No, I mean, I think it didn't help Trask at all. And speaking of Trask, I think during the game there was a couple plays where he can create more space. He did one play where he created space and like tossed it to Rashad White,
Yeah, I saw that.
and I think
19
they
yard
called
gain, I
that
think.
one back.
Yeah, it was some
It
stupid
was a
stuff. But
penalty. Somebody did something, and they
yeah,
called that one back. It was a nice play.
it
So
was
that was a nice,
improvising. He improvised. Yeah.
yeah. So that was a nice like, you know, just a twitchy moment from Kyle Trask, which I like. It can show a little potential on him making a rash decision like that.
Mm.
Um, a lot of quarterbacks don't do that. They'll just be like, panicking and maybe just drop or
You learning?
throw an errant throw or something. So, but outside of that, I rather see him make more space. Like it don't take much to shake up a defensive lineman, especially second level, third level linemen. So, I mean, just do a little shake and cross them up, and then create some more time and space right there. I don't know. Maybe you could work on his footwork. He don't necessarily have to run it and be a Lamar Jackson, but you can shake up a little bit
But
in the
when
pocket.
have you ever seen him do that?
But damn, get him that coach that would make him do that. Just
It ain't in his
just slide
DNA.
over,
It's not in his
and you just
DNA,
gotta
buddy.
bob and weave a little bit. You ain't gotta do a whole lot. Come on now,
Look,
Buckles.
if that boy,
Just
if he going against a massive front, aggressive front,
man,
mm-mm.
who does that really well, man? He's so slippery. I know Lamar does, but like just another kind of a
Roethlisberger was like that,
yeah.
like
Well,
slippery. Like he was like
he
big
was slippery.
and
He'll
slippery. Like
move up a little bit,
yeah,
but there was
yeah,
somebody else that would do that. A little bit of Jameis did a little bit, but it
yeah. He
was a
did it a little
little
bit.
weird too.
Mm.
Um, Damn, somebody
He's
else that would
not
just catch
he.
somebody.
To
Good.
say this though, James is a better athlete than Cal Trask. Like mobility,
I can see that. Oh
like
yeah.
he's way different than Cal Trask. Cal Trask is like
You can tell Jameis did a different position in high
well, he played
school or something.
baseball. He played baseball, so he's a he. He's an athlete. You know
He's
what I'm saying?
got to run.
Yeah, he played out. He played right field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he have to run around as out there. So Kyle Trask is statue.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to come back to you on that. On who does that well. Just give you a little shake. He did it to Devin White so easy, man. Like it's crazy. But
Was it well Matt Ryan? Like Kyle Trask like that Matt Ryan for like Matt Ryan mobility. Like you know,
Matt
like
Ryan, you can tackle him.
yeah. I mean, it's like the
I don't
same
know. I'll get back to you
same.
on that. But if he could just learn just a little shakiness on his little footwork on that, he'd be fine. He can create just a little bit more time, and he's twitchy enough to throw it to somebody. So that's my opinion.
he
And
had a couple. He had a one
as
throw
far as
that
everyone else,
he had that one
huh?
throw that was off platform. That throw that he was Tompkins, that off platform throw.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. So you see some, good qualities in Trask. And to be honest with you, I think he'll take over Ryan Griffin. Another reason for taking over Ryan would be money situation. Us being so thin at the old line. If you heard of the conversation with Todd Bowles, he's already probably thinking about opening up, getting another guard or another lineman
Well, yeah,
from out there.
he said he's fine with what we got, but I don't believe that. Like
True, and
I don't believe
remember,
that.
a lot of other teams are going to cut a lot of
A
linemen
lot
too.
of
So who's
players, yeah.
who's to say that we can't find one of those, linemen that just didn't get the chance to develop
We need
and they
a
become
versatile
a
one.
shine.
We need a versatile lineman too. Like don't just sign just like all he plays is just this.
Yeah,
We need a guy that can play like both guard positions. You know
like
what
a
I'm saying?
mirror. Yeah,
Yeah, like just in case because signing one guy that can only play left side doesn't do us no good. Get what I'm
true.
saying? Like, no, you got to sign a guy that's versatile. And there's a lot of guys. I've been watching a lot of preseason, man, and there's gonna be some solid guys. That's they go out numbers game.
They
You know
will
what I'm
get
saying?
cut.
Like it's a numbers game. So, like that's why it goes back to that Kyle Trask situation. Do you keep three quarterbacks on the roster, and which takes away from another position?
Yeah, because then we're going to cut down on the wide receiver, right?
If let's just say you keep Kyle Trask, do you keep seven receivers and only three tight ends?
I'd rather do that. Yeah, but there's no way we're going to keep J.J. Howland or the other tight end. I
Right.
think Cam Brate.
Where would you, if you had to choose, where would you want that Kyle Trask position to go to if he was on the roster? Where would you want that to be saved for?
Well, there's no way we'll keep just two quarterbacks, right?
They've done it before.
So would then maybe put Kyle Trask as practice squad? I'd rather do that or one of the tight ends in a practice squad.
I don't. Do you see a team trying to snatch up Kyle Trask?
If we put him in a practice squad,
Like
yeah,
that's a weird situation, man. That's why I wish
I
he
can
would.
see somebody picking him up.
I wish he would have beat out Blaine Gabbert. You know what I'm saying? Just beat him out straight up, and it ain't happening, bro. It's not.
Well, there is one more game, so
This is
we'll see.
this was the game for him to like just close. Like remember, if it's close, you go with the young guy, and this was the game to do it. They just
Yeah,
couldn't. And the O line didn't do him no good, no justice, none. Now defensively, no, actually receivers wise, no separation from the group, the pack, no separation at all.
that's true. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there was some openings and Kyle Trask didn't look. They're gonna have to watch the tape and check it. But he does got one more game. He's got another prove it to make it type game for himself. So I'm gonna give
So
him the benefit of the doubt until then.
who's who's your receivers 5, 6, and possibly 7 after the big four right now? After you don't see two games now, you don't see two games.
All right, so I'm keeping Tyler Johnson. I'm keeping um, Darden. That's six, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we have to keep a seven, still Grayson.
He ain't done nothing in preseason. Nothing.
That or Tompkins. But
It's
I
hard.
only say C or Grayson simply because of the experience.
He's done
But if he
nothing.
can't return, I don't know. Even Thompson can't return either. But who knows? We might just put Rashad White back there.
Perriman, we get no Perriman.
Pyramid to return? I don't know.
No, I'm talking about make the roster. 7, 6, 7.
No, I think they'll cut him. If he can't make it this week to practice or to play, there's nothing you could do but to cut him and save money.
Experience, man. You talked about it before.
I'll take Zero over Pyramid. They're both fast.
I don't see how serious Grayson can make it because he hasn't done anything. Like nothing. Like Stern and Tompkins and Geiger has done way more. Way more.
I think there's a little continuity when it comes to Trask giving them the ball. Because, I mean, Trask does play with him more often than not than the first starters.
I mean, it's a good problem to have at receiver that we have, like decisions and stuff like that. But if you just look at it from, like, who stood out the most, like, for me, it ain't Cyrus Grayson. It ain't Rashad Perriman. It ain't neither one of them stood out at all.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the practice, when training camp start, Stearns, Geiger, Tompkins, that's what you heard.
Didn't Geiger had a fumble though?
Yeah. Was it a fumble? Or was it a drop ball? I think it was a fumble.
He caught it and there was a fumble.
Yeah, so
that didn't help him at all.
Right. But it just those guys been doing a whole lot more than Cyrus Grayson. And obviously Brashad Perriman been hurt, and that's been his MO for years.
My only problem is those set of receivers are extremely small.
Very jittery bugs.
and I'm not saying like, an average person small. I'm saying NFL small.
Yeah, like 5'7", 5'8". My size.
No.
They're my size.
They are? No way. Man, they are extremely small.
Yeah, they sure.
I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. They are. So you gotta have to block. You know what I mean? You and a receiver, blocking is crucial.
And those guys, you don't really line them on the outside because the further they away, the harder it is to hit them and to target them. You know what I'm saying? Because they small. So down the field, 20 yards down the field, they're like this.
Yeah.
They're like this.
DBs are not small. There's some small DBs, but they can rock.
So you have to. Most of your small guys are lining up inside anyway, right? Because the Saints got one, Devontae Hardy, and he does fine.
Yeah, that's true. But he's always like an option play. He's out there. He ain't blocking.
Right. Yeah.
He's never. If it was a run play option, or if it was just a run play for the Saints, he's never up in there. We got Michael
the problem
Thomas
is though,
Callaway.
With our receiver core that we've had, we need some twitchiness, like some Antonio Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys kind of got that.
That's where Russell Gage come in.
Yeah. I mean, just saying, but receivers 5, 6, and possibly 7. We still need them.
That's true. I would say, if we have to pick one of them, they definitely have to make a mark on the receiving game, like the punt returns and the kick returns. So,
because usually positions 5, 6, and possibly 7, you playing special teams. It ain't even no question. Gunner, coverage, kickoff return, punt. You know what I'm saying? Like you on. That's where you getting all your playing time from, because your top 4 receivers are rotating.
That's true, man. I don't know. Who knows? They may not all be there. To be honest with you, we might just have 6, and that's it.
So
and
what do you?
Rashad White receiving?
What do you think of
punt return?
Which is a good thing. The fact that he can catch that we don't. You know what I'm saying? But that's another. What do you think about the injuries on the O line though? Like Tristan Wirfs oblique day to day, I guess. And somebody was talking about oblique injuries. You got to be careful with those. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful with those oblique injuries. Which he's not playing Saturday. Obviously, he's not playing Saturday.
No, definitely not. I wouldn't be too worried on Tristan, but depending on how bad the strain is, and it's a strain, it's not a tear. So that's another good thing.
Right.
But
1 to 3
mostly
weeks.
swelling, and you just got to stretch out a little bit. Get your hip mobility back up again when it comes to that.
you twisting, you turning a lot as a tackle. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, and then, they say it's like 1 to 3 week injury, depending on how severe the strain is. Grade 1, grade 2. You know, I
yeah,
think he'll be back week 1. I mean,
yeah. And if anything, they'll give him a little what's with the adrenaline shot or something.
cortisone shot.
Yeah, something like
Ah,
that.
then numb him up.
Get in there,
Ah.
young buck. You're only 21 right now. You should
Well, I
not be
mean,
having this.
so we got Stenny out for the season. No Kappa, no Marpet.
Our line is
Jen,
solidified if Tristan is back
Jensen hurt until November, obviously. Even
indefinitely.
yeah. So man, it just my goodness, man.
I think our line will be okay. I'm
Is
not
that good enough
too
though?
worried. I think it's good enough unless we get hurt. If we get
So
hurt,
look,
man, this is not good enough. What up,
Well,
John?
love you
that's what I'm
with,
saying.
love you
What
with.
what what do we do in this last preseason game? I mean, you got to play him. Somebody got to go out there and block, right?
Yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, we're
Right.
gonna evaluate our second, third strings, and keep one of them for depth.
Josh
So
Wells, Fred Johnson. Oof.
Yes.
Both of them
Josh
at tackle was
Lever,
horrible.
Leverett.
both of them at tackle was horrible. Like, but I play watching other teams, and they be
And
having solid backup O line depth. I'm like, what's wrong with the Bucks depth? What's going on? Like, why O line is backup O
well,
lineman? Like,
can I say something, bro?
yeah,
Yeah.
What can I say, bro? The
yeah.
reason why I see like you said about the other teams is that they build from the trenches. And see, we need to have a head coach or a GM or somebody to start building from the trenches, like D line, offensive tackle, guard, center, just start building more on those. But
Hmm.
as you see now, the Bucks has made so many mistakes on that. They start doing it recently in years, but you see it starting to catch up a little bit on them. They're not
Hmm.
drafting or making like a second or third round pick on an offensive lineman. If that makes sense to y'all.
Like watching the Titans game and watching their backup O lineman, I'm like, damn. Like, I mean, we need a couple of those guys over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Josh Wells and Fred Johnson are
No, they
walking.
ain't.
Man. Like, no,
I
man.
saw them. I was like,
Those
look,
are
they
not the
got beat.
NFL linemen.
They got beat the
Yeah.
other day.
I
I
mean,
don't
we
like
can
that.
honestly be fair though. Like a lot of offensive linemen are not doing well.
True.
But I'm just saying,
But
watching so many games this past weekend, and I'm like, I watched the Ravens back O line, and I'm like, like, all right, the
yeah,
Cardinals. I'm like, they back O lineman
It,
blocking, like. They don't look treacherous. They don't look horrible. Like, you know what I'm saying? They look like backups, but I'm
you're
saying
right.
they holding their own. But you look at Fred Johnson and Walton and Wells, you be like, what is this?
or maybe just the Titans were just a better defensive line for that night.
Well, that was all during the week
All
one joint
credits to
practice.
them. So
On the
Joint
week.
practice, they was tearing the Bucks up. Joint
uh,
practice.
for
For
Miami
real, I
game, we
saw that.
did really well. But Titans game, it looks like it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the Titans got into their heads during the
I
practice
don't
game
Jeff,
know.
or
Jeffrey
practice.
Simmons, Jeffrey Simmons, all week long,
Yeah,
he was just toasting, just like dang, like man up in the trenches, man, man up.
Thank you, man. You telling the truth.
Come on, man. Like you guys,
Well,
to watch, and we saw Josh Wells in the against the Rams.
oh yeah,
That
I saw that.
even
That was
against the
horrible.
Eagles.
was horrible. We don't
Even
want to
against
see
the
that guy.
Eagles.
Yeah, right. We
Shoot,
don't want
even
to see
against the
that back in the again. You saw him this past Saturday, right?
I saw.
Horrible.
Like, yeesh. I see you, Maya. What's going on with you?
Hello, how are you guys for
We
the
doing
night?
good over here. We good. What you got for
Well,
us?
well.
Whew, I
Doing
got a well. I would like to
good.
say I'm still concerned about our special teams because I don't see how in the past 3 years our special teams has finished in the bottom of the league,
You can go
and
longer than that.
it's like I don't. The one of the Bucks reporters put out the stats that Titans had, I think, on kickoff alone or punt 99 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And week one, you seen what the Cowboys
Yeah.
kick returner did, punt returner
Turn
did.
it.
Whew.
Turpin.
Oh, Turpin, yeah.
So
The
back
first 4 weeks, The first
About
4 weeks, look
6 years.
at those. The first
Most.
4 weeks, look at those teams returning units, like punt return kick. They are pretty good. Like they're pretty good. Amari Rogers, Devontae Hardy, the Chiefs with Brian Pringle, and then the Cowboys with Turpin. Four teams in a row. They got guys that can return kicks.
And this goes back to even last year. Not to bring up old wounds, but in the playoff game, like what really killed us, we gave the Rams good possession, like back to back, two kickoff returns, out of bounds, 4 punts. So it's almost like, are we going to see a repeat of last year? And is
Yeah,
that going to be our detriment
like
again?
Well, as far as like punting to the opposing team, obviously the punt of Jake is not bad. I think,
out kicking the coverage though.
Uh,
Out kicking the coverage.
yeah, but it's our gunners that is causing
yeah.
the problem there.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, like, I don't even, from the game, I don't remember who those gunners were. But I know our tight end, Co, I think he had the most tackles on special teams, which is
Hmm.
interesting because he's not even like the fastest one on the
Oh
team.
wow!
Wow.
You know what that
He's
means,
not the
right?
fastest one.
Wow.
You know what that means?
Even
Man.
it was either Carl Nassib or Anthony Nelson. No, or Cade Otten, one of them three.
Oh my
Like I think
god!
they got it up to like they punted to the Titans and they got it up to like the 45 to 50 and it was out of one of them three that tackle. And I'm like, how are the three non-fastest people on the team can tackle and get more down the field than the Gunners? Like I'm not understanding that either.
Yeah, I think Todd Bowles did mention about that they're looking for a gunner, and if you know your head coach is saying they're looking for a gunner, that's a bad deal. Like that's a bad situation to be in right now.
I'm very disappointed in the Bucks media that they don't bring this up more about the special teams units, like about Keep Armstrong. Like they tap dance around it for
You
year
know
after year.
why? Because they always
Right.
worried about Tom Brady.
This before he got here though.
Even
That's
before.
before he got here. I
Well,
remember that.
before there was other issues. There
True,
was way more other
true,
issues.
true,
I'm not gonna lie.
true.
But I'm
We
just
got
saying they
like the
tap.
30 for 30 with Jameis. There was way
They
other issues, you
they
know?
they Matt Gay
But
11 missed kicks. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
yeah,
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 special teams.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
hmm
They didn't
maybe
even
special
like
teams.
Again, special teams.
Special
that
teams,
is special
they've
teams.
had some news for a little bit. Robert
Yeah,
Aguayo.
yeah. I mean, it's been an
Oh,
issue,
that's a
and like the media just tap dances around it. Oh, it's not a big deal until it happens in the game.
I
that's a
will
big
say
deal.
though, it's
Yeah,
like
true.
what I'm looking for when the season starts on offense. Can Byron be more creative than he has in the past? Because if you remember, Jameis's first year in BA system, his play calling was so predictable. He'd run on first down, have Jameis throw the out route, then they pass again on third down. And even in Tom Brady's first year, that's why he was getting so many interceptions. Midway through the
Right.
season, they changed it up. And then last year, it seemed like their game plan was more pass. But when you're going up against teams like the Rams and the Saints and teams that are good against the pass, you have to be able to effectively run the ball. So that's more of what I want to see. I know in training camp, like for some reason, I don't know what it is if he's just trying to be vanilla, but he always just wants to run up the middle, like on the very first play, and we kind of seen that in the Dolphins game too. So
That's a good point you bring up because
Very good
uh,
point.
going back to even 19, when I was doing those live streams, and it's like it was very predictable. It was very predictable. And then even with like Brady, he was having those same issues. What we saw with Winston, Brady was having those same issues. He was on track to throw like 17, 18 interceptions on track. And even then, even at 12, that was his highest since '07.
Wow.
And what's the common denominator? Bruce Arians and that no risk, no biscuit offense. And the fact that they changed it, and we literally saw this in the playoffs. They ran the ball effectively, and look what happened. We can't deny
So
that.
we can make a case or a claim, and
Yeah.
this is purely speculation from my part. is that I can see how Tom Brady is way more assertive with changing the plays with what's more comfortable with him,
Well, they asked
whereas
him.
Jameis is not assertive in that kind of way. I think he'll just let the coaches run him down and be like, okay, I'm going to listen to y'all
That's what
and
he
run
is. I
this
mean,
play.
yeah. I mean, like we talking about Tom Brady. It's hard to compare Winston. I can't really compare them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, Winston was on a learning curve, and
right.
Tom
And
is
Tom
already like
Brady,
he already knows everything.
yeah,
So he wants to make changes. Be like, look, I know how this works. I know how to read
We
coverages. We're
seen,
gonna run this play.
and I know we all seen this. Even the people in the chat room, we all seen Tom Brady shout at Byron like, "No, I'm not running that. Like,
I
I'm
remember
not
that.
running that."
Yeah, that's what I mean by the differences between Jameis and Tom. Obviously Tom is way more assertive, way more aggressive with his decision making than Jameis. So
And he was
that's probably
frustrated.
why.
Like, I ain't running that play. No, he looked at the wristband like, "Oh hell no! Like, you crazy?"
Number
you know,
50? Nah, we ain't doing that.
right? So I mean, with our offense and since 19, the running game has looked the same. It has looked the same for the most part, not all the way, but for the most part, the running game. It was so interesting about that, Maya. When you look at the advanced analytics, next gen, if we ran the ball more, it shows that 4.2 yards. Like we don't run it enough. That's what throws me off. Like, why if the advanced where's the analytics on the Bucks? I know BA is not heavy analytic, so maybe Todd Bowles might be a little bit more heavy on that Sam. But BA was not with that. He no, I'm going with my gut. Well, analytics show advanced stats show that when the Bucks ran the ball to Kappa side, it was 4.2 yards a carry.
He did well.
Did did
He did
Todd
very
Bowles
well.
pick up Le'Veon Bell when he was with the Jets, or was that a different coach?
I I think that might have been a different coach. I think he came right after Todd Bowles got fired.
Um,
I think it was like real close. It's close though. I gotta look at that. I think it was 1 year or 2 years later. But I just find that weird that the Bucks had some good stats when they ran the ball. They just didn't run it enough. Like if they like the minimum attempts they'll rank. If they lowered the attempts down, the Bucks would be ranked at this level. They just didn't run the ball enough.
All
Like
right,
it's weird.
they want to throw like 52 times a game. I'm like, why? It's only week 7. Why are we throwing 52
That's
times a game?
weird. It
I'm
is
not
For
weird.
used to it.
real.
But last season, it looked like in some games it was stat stuffing to get those records. That's what it looked like to me. Some of those games was like we
Um,
clearly winning it. We clearly winning. This look like some stat stuffing here. You know what I'm saying? Like we know we're gonna beat
yeah.
the Dolphins. We know we're gonna beat the. You know what I'm saying? This look like some stat stuffing, trying to break records. Let's get these records out the way. Da 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 da. Bonus, whatever. That's what it looked like to me. Not all the games, but some of those games, it was like 48 times throwing the ball. 47, 49,
Yeah.
But can
50.
they?
yeah,
Question is, can they be consistent? They were never
That's the
on both
question.
sides of the ball. They were never consistent, and even like this year on defense as well. Is their
Mm.
communication going to be better? Can they make in-game adjustments in the second half and not wait to the final, like maybe 3 minutes of the game, to be able to put up some points?
We've seen that too. We've seen it a few times last year. Like the Bucks be flat for like 3 quarters, and all of a sudden, oh, where this been at? Where has this been at? Like all game long. Like why wait till the fourth quarter to all of a sudden they did it against the Saints? Look flat, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Wait, why wasn't this done in the first half? You know what I'm saying? Like the first game against the Saints
Yeah.
last year was looking like crap, and then the third quarter they just flipped the switch, and it was like, well, what
But they
happened?
did that. But they did that so late though. Like you said, they'll switch it up. But at times you need to be like consistent, like you said, Maya, about being consistent. You can't always. It's kind of hard to have a comeback if you're far behind, and if you're far, like I don't know how to describe it, y'all, but
You
they
spend more
need to spend it
energy.
out big time.
You spend a
But some
lot
games
more
they
energy trying to come back. Like and remember, and this is a stat I read
right.
today or heard today. The Bucks were 6-0 in one score games. Like let's keep this in mind. 6-0
Wow.
in one score games. That's the difference between being 7-10 and 13-4. Keep that in mind.
Mm.
Now I don't know about this year with the injuries on online. It's a lot different. Now remember, every season is different.
We
Every
had some
season.
games where we made a good comeback and obviously failed or succeeded.
But think about what I just said though. 6 and
But we're a
0.
pass heavy game though. That's just our definition of offense.
What's the chances? And this is not this. And then what happened last year was with that stat right there. That usually teams don't go undefeated when one score games often for a whole season. That was a outlier. Like literally, the Bucks were 6
Yeah.
and 0 in one score games. That is how close the Bucks were being from a 7-10 or 8-9 or 9-8 to a 13-4. So we have our margin of error, especially this season. There was a roster turnover too. So we had 17 new players. So there was some roster turnover from this year to last year. Got a little younger in some positions. You know what I'm saying? And now with these injuries, our margin for error is not the same as it was last year at all.
And
Like
also another fact, we were the least pressured for QB pressure at 70% rate.
Brady was number 2 in the NFL and getting rid of the ball, so which made the O line look,
Even better.
right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
and the
I
schedule was
don't
weak
know.
too.
Now that
Yeah,
you
way
said
weak this year.
I have zero faith, this team in the first 4 games as far as if they put
You said zero faith.
no, I don't have. I mean,
Oh
not
my
zero
lord.
faith. I wouldn't say, but I'm not like
Wow.
not particularly high on them. Like, it's
Okay.
just,
What? Okay. So what in those first 4 games that got you really like? Is it coaching? Is
no,
it
no. I'm not talking
injuries?
about the overall team. I'm talking about the line.
Oh, the line. Oh, the O line. Okay.
Yeah,
So you don't have no
not the,
faith in the O line.
not the whole team. The
Oh,
line.
okay.
I'm about. Oh, okay. Yeah.
The O line. You don't have no faith in the O line in the first 4 games.
No, I mean because I'm with the Packers. We've
That
had
cheap.
good records against them, whatever. But it's mainly the Saints. I'm worried about because if Donovan Smith he struggles, who knows if Tristan Wirfs is gonna be like 100% by that time, playing his best. And if you're putting Gadecki on the line, I mean, I don't see how he fares up against. I mean, because to be honest, the Saints D line always plays more aggressive than we do at O line. To me, in my opinion.
Well, it's
You
the
right.
last 8 games show you that. You know what I'm saying? Like one and
Yeah.
seven. I mean, that's that.
Well, Maya, can I add?
Uh,
Can I add to this?
Yeah.
So I think we have a different image this year than last year. And personally, I'm less worried about it. In my personal opinion, I know everyone's entitled to theirs, but the idea for our old line is if you look at the right side, let's just say Tristan Wirfs is back by the time we play the Saints, right? Well, if he's healthy, he don't even have to be 100%. He could be 89, 88% healthy, right? That's good enough, in my opinion. And then you have Shaq Mason right next to Tristan, and then you got Hainsey, right? And then you got Gadecki on the left, and then you got Donovan. I don't think it's a bad drop off besides Gadecki, replacing Adley
and my
Marpet.
pet.
That's the biggest drop off, but outside of that, everything else seems to be more solidified. So Brady's right blind side should be good, and left blind side should be good. My concern would be up the middle, which not a lot of teams have good up the middle defensive uh, tackles besides the Saints. Well, I don't know. You can make a case for
Have you
that.
seen the schedule?
For
It's a
inside,
brutal schedule.
outside,
Oh,
that's
I
just a
know,
different story.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, I've been tracking this.
Bro,
I've been
bro,
tracking the schedule. And
bro.
like I
I
said,
Look,
see
I
the
watch a.
I see the Chiefs have good inside. The Rams with like Aaron Donald.
I mean,
I don't know. You can add more if you want.
like so going back to what Maya was saying with the O line, and I'll piggyback what you said. You wish. Um, here's the issue. Going back what you said. You said it's not that much of a drop off, and I get what you're saying with that. But what you also forgetting is the continuity of what Brady had versus what he got now.
man,
That's a big difference. Huge. Kappa, Marpet, and Jensen. That was continuity in the interior versus
Yeah.
Hainsley, Luketike, and Shaq Mason. Even though Shaq Mason has been in the league for a while, but come on, man. This is a whole new system. This ain't New England system.
So you got 3 continuities with Hainsey. No, I'm sorry,
No,
Shaq, Tristan, and Donovan. But Hainsey and Gedeke,
no.
they don't
I'm
have
talking
any
about.
continuity.
I'm just talking about the interior part. Like if you look at what Brady had since 2020, he had Marpet, Jensen, and Kappa, and they were already playing together before Brady got there.
Yeah.
Now you insert in a whole new interior line. Not Jensen's injured, but you insert 3 new guys. 3 new guys, and it's not much of a drop off. That's a big drop
I
off.
don't think Shaq it's a big drop off because there is continuity between.
I'm talking about overall, just the cohesiveness for the interior, passing guys off, picking up TE stunts. You know what I'm saying? The zone blitzing. It's just understanding how the guy next to you move. And
I think the drop off extends a lot further with Ryan Jensen being hurt.
That's
But
what I'm
if Ryan
saying.
Jensen wasn't hurt, then the drop off wouldn't be that big.
That's the point I'm trying.
But
That's
yeah.
what Mike was talking about. That's why I understand where she's coming from with the concern, with the first couple games. We'll get past the Cowboys, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't like the interior. I don't like the interior. I don't like it. It's weak. You know what I'm saying? They do have Jordan Elliott, but whatever. But the Saints, the Chiefs, and the Packers interior are no joke.
And the Ravens, I think.
And that's all in the first 9 weeks. No, Steelers. No, the Steelers in the first. The Ravens in on the after the Steelers.
Second half.
Yeah. So the
You got the
Steelers
49ers.
is within that first 9. The 49ers in the second half on the back end.
Oh,
The Steelers, Saints, Packers,
man.
Chiefs. The Panthers interior kind of got a little. They got some juice in there. Derek Brown. You know what I'm
Didn't
saying?
they get rid of Reddick?
Hassan Reddick. Yeah. So I'm just talking about interior. So in those first 9 weeks, there's about 4 or 5 teams interior line plays average and above. Like, just say, there's some guys there. So there is some concern with I get what Mike was saying, because how do you frustrate Tom Brady? Pressure at the middle. We've seen this over and over and over again. And now that we have these injuries and the lack of, I don't know how much continuity or cohesiveness they have as far as like Shaq and Hainsley and now Luke. I think Stanley was going to win the job in a way, right? I mean, he had more experience going into the season, but now that he hurt, now you thrusting a second-round pick in there. So it's like, now you got 2 young guys, 2 new starters that never started a game. And you got Shaq Mason, a veteran, but playing next to, got Tristan Wirfs, which is, he'll be fine. But then the other side, you got Hainsley, Luketike, and then Donovan Smith. That will be the weak side.
Yeah.
And you think teams ain't going to attack that?
Yeah, it'll be tricky.
It's going
to be rough. And I told you this. I
rough.
said, it's going to be some frustrating moments. Well, as a fan, we got to be able to just control, because I'm going to be more like, okay, I figured this was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be too upset.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, we can overestimate or underestimate Gedeke and Hainsey all day until it happens. So
right. But I'm just saying, like, just going into the season with the schedule right away. This ain't gonna be, this is why I say 2-2, fingers crossed. 3-1, great. But 2-2 is pretty much where I'm looking at. Like, let's get 2-2 and we'll be fine. We can get 2-2.
True.
Do you think we can average 30 points in the first 4 games? Because when we average 30, we pretty much.
Oh no.
Why not? He said, "Oh no." He said,
No.
"Oh no." Why not?
No, I don't think so, because I mean, one, there's gonna be a lot of pressures with those good teams, a lot of good defensive matchup that will match up with the offense. I think we'll get like 20-some points, but no 30 plus.
Well, I was gonna say it depends on how well the run game too, though. If the run game is good, you think we could probably do good with that.
Well, we haven't talked about.
Sure, but our image is passing. That's our image.
But Todd Bowles, let's just say there might be a slight adjustment, and Todd Bowles says, we're gonna run a little bit more.
I hope so. I hope we can, commit more. I
But
hope Tom Brady is open to that too.
Byron's stubborn though. Like Byron, he
What's
just
more? What's
stubborn.
more? 30 carries or how many carries is
25.
more?
25.
25.
We need
At
25.
least 25.
So,
Well, they do like 15 each. If it's a running back committee
no,
between
fine.
Rashad
25
White,
total. Yeah, 25 total. Yeah.
so it's like 30.
And you now have two running backs that can. I mean, we kind of seen it from Rashard White,
Oh,
but
wait, my boy, man. Boy.
is that going to be enough though? Like, can we really depend on Rashad White to carry us over that? If Leonard, if maybe he's too gassed, can we depend on Rashad White to get the first down and not fumble or
I'm hopeful.
Let me ask you this, Maya.
what's up?
Our running back group.
Mm-hmm.
How do you grade that group overall with Fournette and Vaughn and Rashad White? What's your overall thoughts? It's like if you look at the 32 teams and look at our running back group, like how do you look at that?
Well, the fact that we even drafted a running back to replace Vaughn when he was the third round pick, and he has already taken over more responsibilities than Vaughn. I'm gonna give it like a C. We've seen what Leonard can do. He's had experience. We've seen what he can do in the playoffs in the Super Bowl. Rashad's a rookie. Vaughn has had experience. I mean, his best game, he only had one really good game, and that was against the Panthers last year. Gio's more like the catch and bag. Not to say he can't, do his thing, but he was injured, and now, we just have those three. I mean,
so okay, so you say a C. So fellas, like you kind of do you agree with this? Like our running back group is kind of like man, because that's what the C is. C is like not
Man,
bad,
or
but
is it solidified?
his man. I mean,
See, it's
we
solid
have
to me.
Ain't nothing solidified about that. Though.
No, y'all don't believe in the running
Lenny,
game?
besides Lenny,
Man.
and I'm on the fence about him sometimes.
so our running back group is overall is men.
Overrated.
I'm impressed by White, but then he have a fumble. He coughed it up last game,
Yeah.
right?
but that's what
Yeah, I think.
we have
Yeah, that was it.
him in, an actual
Didn't
game.
do it twice.
So I can't really give it an A or B. We already know what Leonard can do, but even when we play against like good teams, like Leonard don't really do much. To me, in my opinion.
He has his meh games. I mean, I don't know. He's
He did good one game.
I don't know. I have more silent
Against
memories
the
of Lenny than I
Packers,
do
against the
negative.
Colts. Ain't no
But
love there. Jeez.
No, I mean,
You see
Far
what I'm saying, Isaiah?
leftover
The
Lenny.
Chiefs in the Super Bowl,
Oh, Lord.
but in the
leftover Lenny.
for running, like I'm saying, because last year we were inconsistent, and there were times like the Washington game, we couldn't really do anything there, but they had us on the field for like 11 whole minutes just running up and down.
You know what's so funny? You bring that game up. What's the common denominator with Washington? Why the running game look that bad?
I don't know.
Washington got a front
four.
7, front 4. They have guys that can talent. You know what I'm saying?
With them in the playoffs.
But yeah, that's weird though. It's
Yeah, we almost lost
Just
that
say
game
Washington had a good game and they just beat us straight up. That's just it.
When you can run,
It's gonna happen.
And run defense like that for 11 straight minutes, like
that was crazy. I was like, what?
And we were coming back too. Like that was just soul crushing, man.
Antonio Gibson.
Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke was eating us. He was getting at us.
Third downs too, man. The third down completions, man. I was like, stop, Murphy Button. I mean, Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, like Russell Cockrell. What are you doing? Like,
ooh, Cockrell is gone. Thank God. I wish him the best in the future, but whew,
I think Gardner took over him. By the way,
yeah, it was time. It was time for Cockrell to go. You could see it. You saw it last year. It was like
he was too slow.
You still here?
You saw in the preseason game against the Miami, even in the joint practice, he was getting toasted. Like what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here?
Our backup corners, I pray nobody get hurt because they had no communication. I mean, I think they fared a little bit better because they only gave up like 13. But
I honestly think we're sleeping on Sean Murphy Button, to be honest with y'all. I think he'll have a good year this year.
This it for him. This it. You got to put up a shut up. That's it.
He got
That's
his
his last year,
play.
right?
Why
Him
you
and
think
Dean.
that? What gives you those high hopes? You know what I mean?
Well,
What makes
first
you
of all,
optimistic?
Well, last year he got hurt.
The Bucks made a mistake moving him inside. Made a mistake, and they owned up to it. They said, you know what, we're gonna move you back outside. That's literally the Bucks saying, well, that didn't work. No crap. You should have had him outside the first place. He's not a slot guy. He's not. He don't have the twitchy or the awareness to cover both sides. He don't have one side. Stay over there.
So who's the slot guy?
It's gonna be Antoine Winfield Jr. and Logan
Or
Ryan's
Logan.
they're gonna intertwine between each other. They're gonna.
I have a question. Who's our starting corner?
Carlton.
Carlton
Murphy
Davis.
Bunting and Carl Nichols.
Carter Devitt, yeah. And I'd rather put Sean Murphy Button out there than Jamel Dean, unless Sean gets gassed out and then they rotate him out. That's doable.
But did you see did you see the replay of the 1-on-1s from the Titans camp?
Yeah.
I saw a couple of that, man. It was bad.
It was bad. It was unknown. It was unknown guys. It wasn't Robert Woods.
Boy, be eating, man.
It wasn't Robert Woods. It wasn't Robert Woods. It was unknown Phillips and the other guy. I'm like, who are these guys? And the one thing I did see, the one thing I did notice about Bucks cornerbacks, they can't change directions good enough. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
ain't got that hip.
Yeah, it's like what is going on with our cornerbacks
Coaching,
and our change of direction? Like
coaching or something.
They don't know how to turn their hips.
Shit, I mean it's a two-way go though, so they're at the disadvantage. You don't know which way they're going. All of a sudden, boop, you know what I mean, and they going this way.
Even when it's 11-on-11s, they still do this in the regular games. It's like, what is the issue? Why can't they figure this out? Like,
yeah, that 1-on-one's a little tricky, man. Like the DBs always get the short end.
They don't know where they're going. Right.
Okay, we can go past DBs, go 11-on-11. We go real games. What did the real games tell us?
Same story for the last 3 years, right?
Same. Well, we haven't really seen the starters
same
play.
Story. What divisional? I mean,
what did I tell y'all? My number one issue is with the Bucks, the secondary, and then next number two is interior O-line.
Yeah,
I got more faith in the interior O-line than the secondary.
Hey, did you see that post that I put it on Facebook? Mm-hmm. Adam Clean, whatever, said that we ranked 7 in the NFL for defense.
That's what I'm saying. When have we ever had a blazing pass defense besides like the Monty Kiffin days? Yeah, I mean, we just won a Super Bowl with just a blazing run defense 2 years ago. So I mean,
that's the difference between 4-3 and 3-4, right?
With that, when they brought back the same people, they struggled to communicate.
That is true. That is true, Maya. When we brought back the same, from 2020 to 2021, that pass defense still was
trash.
Not really.
I thought, in the last 5 years, the only corner I've seen get progressively better was Carlton Davis.
Yeah,
that's by default.
But Sean Murphy Button had a great playoff run. I'm not gonna take his playoff run away from him. Going to the Super Bowl, his playoff run was
against the Green Bay Packers, phenomenal.
And Dean, for as stiff as he is, he don't really give big plays. It's so
he fast,
right?
He's so stiff. Everybody can see. Like
look, he still get beat on double moves, and he struggled against
he can get about 5 picks a season.
He still struggled against that one receiver when we were playing the Jets. That small dude.
Oh yeah,
Elijah Moore.
Yep.
No,
Berrios. Braxton
Berrios.
Too fast. He too twitchy. Like it's not twitchy.
Berrios is solid though.
He twitchy.
He's solid.
Right.
Yeah, he's
You
solid.
know what I'm saying? And then now think about it. If you look at the Bucs secondary and what we're going against the first couple weeks, let's break this down for a second. Cowboys, they're gonna throw the ball.
They ain't got nobody to throw to.
But no, they're gonna throw the ball.
They ain't got nobody to throw to though.
Mike McCarthy, that's his MO. He's gonna throw the ball. Forget Zeke and Tony Pollard.
Yeah, he's gonna throw it.
Too.
And then week number 2, they got a whole new receiving core in New Orleans, so they're gonna try to test us out right there.
I think there's gonna be a balanced attack, but they're gonna test, like you said. I agree.
Yeah. And then you got the Chiefs. They're gonna throw the ball, Patrick Mahomes.
My problem with the Saints that's out of those 4 games, the Saints is by far the scariest game. I just think we match up well with Green Bay. We match up well with Green Bay, and we match up well with this version of Kansas City. We match up well with them. But New Orleans, we just have not matched up with them. And the Jameis mentality, man, like he's not scared to throw the ball. And Chris Olave is a problem. I've been watching this kid, bro. He's a problem. Like he'd be out there in practice killing Marshawn Lattimore in practice. Like,
but you really think? I'm not saying he's not going to be good or anything because he's an opponent of ours. But you think in week 2 he's really just going to take off like that with adjustment? You know, because he's going to see a different speed just in week 1 alone.
Yeah, but Olave is cut.
Our cornerback's trash, bro.
But they're not trash. They're not trash. They're not trash. Our corners are solid.
Average.
They're
average to me.
I wouldn't even call them average, bro. They're solid.
Can I ask you guys?
Average. That's solid. Average.
They were top 5 corners last year.
If our pass rush gets home, do you feel a different type of way with the secondary? Because that's going to be the key with our corners.
I agree with you. That's how we've drafted too. We've drafted to protect our secondary. That's just what it is. We've drafted up front players to protect our secondary because we know.
I got to
players up front. We draft one.
I don't know. I know I'm late coming on, but I watched that Baltimore game the other day. Did y'all see that? Too. Did y'all see what's the old boy name?
Travis Jones.
What's that defensive lineman? The one the Bucks should have got it. I'm starting to
Travis Jones.
Yeah, dude, like a day one starter.
He looked that good.
Hey, I watched it.
I saw it. It was.
Let me. You know what? No. Speaking of our defense. Speaking of Travis Jones, I want to get back to the Bucks defense. Joe Tryon looks like he's going to get about 8 to 10 sacks.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like.
That's a two.
I'm gonna tell you something. If Tryon didn't take that year off, his last year, he would have came in a little bit more polished, and we might not have been able to draft him where we did.
He would have been
if he would have played. Because even last
year,
he was close as hell.
The only problem I have with Tryon is that when he gets there, he needs to contain better.
Yes.
He relies on speed only. He's all about speed. Like if once you stifle his speed, like speed rush, he doesn't know what to do. Like
he don't know how to break that.
Right. He'd be like, "Oh snap! I saw last year Ramczyk stifle him a couple. Like when he got in, he didn't know what to do after his speed. He's like, I don't know what to do. Like you gotta get.
So I had to bring him in on some stunts. But no, he looked like he's definitely been working. I mean, and that's what he took a year off from football and he's to the NFL. Like. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like if he would have played that one more year, the year that he should have played outside of COVID or inside of COVID,
he was looking out for his family.
A little bit more polished.
Remember, he got 4.5 sacks part time. So can you imagine if you'd have took JPP snaps?
Full time.
Right. He probably had 7.5. He overran about 4 too.
Yeah, he
overran like 4 sacks.
If he could just contain,
he play both sides, right, left and right.
One thing I do like about Joe T, man. One thing I do like about JTS, he's mature, and he's really good against the run. He's better than what shows up.
If you don't run at him, he's gonna if you run away from him, he's gonna disrupt.
Man, he's good at that, man.
If you run at JTS, you can make some some yards, but you can't run away from him because he's gonna track it down. He's gonna track that down too easy.
Yeah.
Well, you don't agree he can set the edge well?
You can't go horizontal with him.
Isaiah, I agree with you on the record. These first 4 games, I think 2-2 is likely, but then I go back and look at some of the matchups. Like our weaknesses, the other team's strengths can't. They don't benefit from our weakness. Like on defense, our weakness is our secondary, in my opinion, like you said before. But the teams that we play, it's hard for them to exploit that. Like, I don't know who Aaron Rodgers is throwing to. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He's, but at the same time, they don't have somebody to just slice us up in routes.
I mean, they do got Travis Kelce though.
Back to his second year, Juju Smith-Schuster. So it's like those first 4 games are tough, but it's that Saints game. I mean, it's gonna come down to that Saints game if we're gonna go 4-0 or 3-1. But 2-2 is probably the realistic.
We just gotta go undefeated one week.
As a football fan, not a Buccaneers fan. As a football fan, 2-2 is probably realistic.
Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Do you think?
Oh, don't let us go 4-0 though.
Oh, hold on.
Do you think it's true that Devin White can improve the season in pass coverage?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
Like he's actually been doing pretty good in the preseason.
Yeah.
In his training camp and preseason.
That's what they saying.
It still come down to what
They
you
showed
did
on
in
the
the
field
training
though.
camp. You got to put it in the game. You know what I'm saying? And then his
So
tackling. Hopefully he took another step in his tackling skills. You know what I'm
who's
saying? Because
this?
he tackles high,
Oh,
high, high, high. He's a grabber. He
Who you
grabs
talking about?
every Devin White. The
Oh yeah,
jump that he can make the jump. Clearly, he has the talent, he has everything, but can he hone his athleticism
right. And
and become more aware of what's going on around him?
I thought
Football
last year
IQ,
too,
his football
man.
IQ, his football IQ needs to go up. Not athleticism.
Yeah.
His athleticism is fine. His football IQ needs to go up a notch.
And I thought
that's the
last
awareness,
year,
right?
he kind of suffered from the injuries we had totality on our defense. I think we wanted to use him differently than we had to last year, and I just think they had to make him play solid and not explosive. He was good last year, but he was like if you look at him in that playoff run, you was expecting a notch up. You know what I'm saying? You expecting him to probably be the best linebacker in the league last season.
Yep.
If you look at that playoff run, and it just seemed like that injury to Levante, it's just like he was overcompensating sometimes for that. Like it just seemed like he struggled without
Yeah, what was
Levante
my man
sometimes.
Kevin Minter? Kevin Minter, he was just like a band-aid.
Oh yeah, Kevin. Oh my God,
He's still on the
man,
team, Kevin Minton.
Do
he
you
was out
feel
there
like
Kevin Minter.
crawling.
He's gone now. He's gone.
hey, do you feel like if like in regards to Devin White, do you feel he's ineffective or more effective as long as he has Via Bay in front of him or have someone not allowing another lineman to the second level? Does that make him more effective, or he can't take on blocks because he's too considered undersized, or his speed to compensate for it?
We see.
Um,
Man, if you have Vita Vea there, it makes everybody's job easier. Let's just put
Right.
that
Yeah.
out there, bro.
But remember when Vea was out, I mean, it wasn't really that much of a drop off. When he got injured, I think against the Bears game in 2020 in our Super Bowl year. Um, but I mean, he didn't really. It didn't seem like he had a drop off then.
but I will say this though, Levante did have a Liz Frank injury last year too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you see where
I
Cam
thought it was a high ankle sprain.
No, it was a
I could
list
be
Frank.
wrong.
Liz Frank.
Yeah, it was list Frank.
Oh,
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
played through it.
He probably shouldn't have played, honestly, based off what he was saying.
And he
He
played
probably
through it.
shouldn't have played. Yeah, he played through it. So I'm looking forward to him being healthy. But after them two at linebacker depth is concerning. But I guess that
No, I lied back. Oh no. Olafale Fukaske, 03.
03. You like 03,
03.
huh?
03.
Oh
He
boy,
got that
good.
I like
dog
him.
in him. Yeah, he got that dog in him. He got
I'm
that
more
dog.
confident in him
hey,
as the backup.
He had like
Isaiah,
TJ
who is
Britt.
this big guy on the defensive line?
Green.
Sanat.
Samoan. No, not Green. The other one.
Oh,
Sanat.
Samo.
Starts with a
95?
No.
P.
Is this
Hold
number
on.
95 you talking about?
Long hair. He's
Is
like
this Sanat?
6'5".
No, no,
Samoan.
Patay,
no.
No,
Oh, long hair. Oh.
he looks Samoan. He looks like he like a brother or cousin of Vita
Patay.
Vea.
I thought it was
Benny Pote.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
potato.
Yeah.
Potato.
Hey,
yeah,
I
That's
don't know, but him and Green are showing up. Let me just say that much.
I like Green. Twitchy.
Him and Green are showing up. It's not a little bit, but him and Green,
I like
for
our
some
front,
reason,
man. I like our
I think
front.
Green gonna make it over Sanat. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
yeah. Green,
So
man, he
who
got a
y'all
good
think?
launch.
Who do y'all think at this receive? Because the receiving situation is kind of is weird too. Because we got 5 receivers, but then we got those undrafted guys, and then Scotty. You throw Scotty Miller in with the guys that's trying to make the team. Right now, he ain't on the team, in my opinion.
I got Scotty
Like,
Miller out.
yeah, he out. Like, I don't know how you put anybody over Tompkins out of that group. Tompkins might be the sixth wide receiver to make the team.
But remember, man, you weren't here earlier, but I said if they only keep 2 quarterbacks, maybe they might keep 7 receivers.
Mm. I mean, they're gonna try to get some guys on the practice squad, but some of those guys can play on Sunday.
Yeah.
Some of
But
Geiger, I think Geiger can play.
Well, they got to think about it. It's 53 guys, right? It comes down to a numbers game. So,
Right.
Is it 3 quarterbacks? Is it 6 receivers? Is it 4 tight ends? Is it going to be 4 DBs and 4 safety? It's a numbers game. So, what do you load up on for depth purposes and special teams? Because do we give up a slot to keep Kyle Trask or justify him to be on the roster, even though he's not going to play? Or do you bring somebody and add that to another position? That's the thing about Kyle Trask. Like, what are you doing?
They got that second round pick tied up in. I don't. They're not gonna let him go in 2 years. Oh, does it count if you move him to practice? No, I didn't go put Ryan Griffin probably on.
But
I
I'm
don't know.
saying, but if you keep 3 quarterbacks, that means that's one less position.
Yeah,
But
that's true. That's true.
and
Well,
You
how
get
many
rid of a
they carried,
defensive
what
for the
position
position
are
or
last
you in?
2
something.
years? I mean,
Hmm?
how many have they carried? What, 3 the last? I mean, at least I know 4 the last 2 years, but it's always been 3, right?
Well, it's 2 or 3. It depends. It's been 3,
It
but
depends on how many, like, because you don't have to dress that third one, and he don't
right.
take a roster spot.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
do
But
you
who's the
put
six?
Trask on the roster and take away from the receiver or DB or linebacker,
Yeah, I think
tight
that's.
end?
I think they're gonna roll with 3 quarterbacks.
3
I
quarterbacks.
think they're
Yeah.
gonna roll with
Okay,
3
well,
quarterbacks.
okay, that's one less guy that you like ain't playing.
Right.
Are you
They're gonna,
y'all right? Y'all cool with that?
they're gonna
Yes.
try to get some. Well, that 7th receiver is not gonna play unless he's a really good gunner. And honestly, I was at the game Sunday. Our gunners was trash, all of them.
I
That's true. Maya talked
They're
about
trash.
that. Maya
It's
Yeah,
trash.
talked about that.
Trash.
Maya brought that up.
It made Camarda punts look like they weren't. And I didn't like waking up today and everybody talking about that 82-yard punt from Matt Ariza. It really annoyed me because I feel like that's probably who we should have drafted.
Oh,
But
Oh, that
yeah,
was
man.
I
bad.
get why we took
I
Jake Camarda
called
because
that
he's
one
more
out a
Yeah,
accurate.
you
long time
wish.
ago.
Yeah, you called that one. Yeah, you
Yeah,
called it.
I was
Camarda
like, we need
Camarda
that
was
dude
more
from San
accurate
Diego
in the
State.
pin down. Yeah, he was more accurate in pinning the opposite team. So I get it. NFL, you could boot it, start
It's
them at
not
the
about
25
always
yard line.
booting it though. It's not about always
Exactly,
booting it.
yeah, and that's why they took Jake Camarda because he's a better.
Because he
His
could tackle.
accuracy is better as far as pinning them in their
Well,
own deep
also
in their
because he'll
own
run down
territory.
and tackle. That's why.
And but
Right,
the
like
well, go ahead, Maya. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Camarda, he punted in like inside their 10-yard line,
Right.
and they still, I mean,
No, the punt coverage was
Hey,
terrible.
I'll be pissed if Kamara's the one
What is
making the
Russell
So
tackle,
messed
Shepard
bro.
with that,
doing?
huh?
Can we go get back? Who was the corner
Yeah,
that nobody
Russell
liked?
Shepard.
I'm being silly. Russell
Right.
Shepard when
He
Russell Shepard was
was.
a gunner. Our punt covers we had dog.
What was the
Bring up.
other guy?
not
Number 26. What was the other guy?
I
Ryan
forget his
Smith,
name.
not
I forget
Robinson.
his name.
Robinson,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
yeah, Robinson and Ryan
But
Smith and Shepard.
Ryan
Those
Ryan
Smith,
those
Smith.
are
That's
Ryan
it.
Smith,
Ryan Smith.
Ryan
That was
Smith,
the
man.
best
Hey,
gunner we ever
when they
had.
was the gunners, hey, they was doing their job. They was doing their job,
Horrible at cornerback, great at gunner, bro.
man.
But think about it.
he
When
was
you
best
think
with the
about
team.
gunners,
Ryan Smith was.
this is what I goes back to the telling y'all about that roster position. If you look at the cornerbacks, 5, maybe 6, those are gunners. And they say, yeah, those are gunners.
Right.
Every position. When I'm telling you, after this game, everything matters, man. Like how
Yeah.
many cornerbacks, how many safeties, how many
Yeah,
linebackers.
I think, and schematically, man, I like what the coaching staff did. I kind of see what they're doing. I think they're going to do this the next game. They made the receivers the gunners this last game. It didn't turn out so well. Now look out for
The
some of our
cornerbacks.
corners.
Gardner, D. Delaney.
Garner, D. Delaney to
Those
be the
guys
gunners
out
this
there.
weekend. They're gonna be the gunners this weekend
Robinson.
because Robinson.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like Gardner though. He had a really nice interception. The ball was
Yeah.
underthrown,
Garner was
but it
the
was
one
a nice
that the
interception.
But his
Mhm.
eyes were there.
he
He
Yeah,
had
was
a
he ran.
horrible
He turned his
reverse
head
quick
around.
play opportunity.
Yeah, he
Man.
got his head around.
He got his head
And that
around.
was against a first round receiver, Traylon Burks.
Traylon Burks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was against Traylon Burks.
Oh yeah.
He was
Yeah.
showing it, but he was shutting him down the whole night.
So
How
what
many-
do we do? So what do we do with KJ Britt and Grant Stewart?
Grant Stewart, because his special teams are probably, I don't know. I guess they're gonna see because is KJ Britt hurt right now? Or is he playing?
He
He
playing.
just hasn't made any noise.
KJ
Nah,
Britt.
yeah, nah, because
Not
them
playing
dudes
well.
behind him are making
53
noise.
made more noise than him.
03 for one. 03 took both of their
03.
job at the same time.
Okay.
He took both of their
Is
job at
that
the
the
same
dude
time.
with the red hair, red dreads?
That's
Yeah, from
51.
Rutgers.
Russell.
No,
Russell.
Russell's
51.
51.
Yeah.
Who's
03
the
is
one with the red hair, the linebacker?
Russell.
51. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's nice too. Like I like. Look, Grant Stewart, he's hurt, but he's a good
That's
special
who's
teams
hurt.
guy.
Yeah, that's who's hurt. But he is a good special teams guy. Yeah.
He actually is the best one, to be honest with you. That's not saying a lot, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you're not like if we had to put Grant Stewart in the game.
No, not Grant Stewart. There was another one. I know Grant Stewart from H-Town, but there was another one. He had like
looking
red painted hair.
You got Andre Anthony was LSU, and then you
Yeah.
got
He was Alabama, ain't
yeah, he's
46, 40 something, 49.
46.
Let me see.
51, I don't know, 50 something.
What about him?
I don't know. He
51
just
got
made
red
a play.
hair.
Like there was a
51 got
play
red
down the
hair.
middle. There was a pass,
Yeah,
and he
KJ
like
Britt is
it
slow.
wasn't even his play, but he turned around and just got him. He was twitchy. He made a quick decision on that play.
Oh, you know what
And
though? You
my
talking about
last
JJ
thing I'm
Russell?
looking at,
That's the linebacker 51.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's JJ Russell.
My last
Yeah.
thing I'm looking at too, man. This last preseason game is the kicking battle. I think Jose would have solidified it if he would have won that Miami game. But him
Man.
missing that kick, man, like it's gonna come down to this last game.
What do
And
y'all
it's
think
important.
about? What do y'all think about Carl Nassib showing today? I mean, last game. Like, y'all say what y'all saw him out there, right? Y'all saw him, obviously.
Oh no,
Special
he showed up
teams.
really early. No, he showed up really early. He did a nice swim move, and it caused a sack because Malik Willis had to go up. One of the few times we was able to tackle Malik Willis. First of all, goodness gracious, man, I was so annoyed watching the pass rush trying to tackle this kid, and he's a lightweight version of Lamar Jackson. Like I'm like, dude, we better be able to get these mobile quarterbacks down on the
Tell you
ground.
what, boy.
We need to be able to get these guys on the ground because we play against guys that move around. I mean, even Jameis, before he got hurt last year, he was running all over us. It was
Corey,
like, what the hell is going
That dude
on?
was
that's another thing that costs us. We are poor at tackling. We
Man,
saw it preseason 1, game 1. We could barely tackle. Seen it again.
But let's not forget, these are our backups. Most of them.
You
Even
know,
with our main
man,
people struggling to
True,
tackle.
but still,
what Carl Nassib did flash.
can't
Well,
say that.
but see, Carl Nassib did flash, but I also saw him get stifled by some guys that ain't gonna be on the roster.
yeah, that's tough.
That I mean, come on, man.
Well,
That's
hey,
tough.
like it was brought up last week. Is he on the roster or is he a camp body still?
Well, no,
Like,
he's on the
I mean,
roster now
Cam,
because
Cam Gill.
Cam Gill is
Yeah,
hurt, so he's on the
yeah,
He
roster.
he's
playing.
on the roster,
He
and
playing.
they
I'm
gave him number
just asking.
93.
I saw that earlier, so I was just
Yeah.
I wondering if your thoughts were still the
What
same.
was the contract? What was the contract?
Yeah,
Was it
and
3
they let
million?
him rock. They let him rock that 93. So
What was the contract that he
that's-
got? What was it? Does anybody know what he got? His contract?
It's like a
With
year and like
No, how much? It was like 2 million?
1-3 or something like that. It wasn't, and it's incentive late.
Right. We can't depend on him to just all of a sudden just become this sack artist, backup sack artist. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw him get stifled by some dudes. I'm like, who is that guy blocking Carl Nassib? Oh, is that a fireman? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's
You're right. You're right because I saw the same dude. I saw the same dudes try to block JTS and they was very unsuccessful. I was screaming, dude. I was screaming to take JTS out. I was screaming. I was like, I seen enough. Get him out.
Flying all over the place.
And I was right behind the Bucks. I was
he
right
wasn't
behind
ready.
that bench. I was
Then I see
screaming.
Carl
I was like,
Nassib.
I seen enough. Get JTS out of here.
I see Carl Nassib out there. I'm like, all right, Carl Nassib, all right. Okay, what's going on? What you saying?
So we haven't really talked about Anthony Nelson a lot. I mean, how do y'all feel about him?
He does his job. Anthony Nelson is he's Wisconsin. You know how them Big Ten players, bro? They just do their job.
Bucks.
Ain't from Iowa though, Anthony Nelson.
His job is to be a backup defensive lineman, and that's what he does.
Carl Nassib,
Can we say that's the same thing for Carl Nassib? But it's just a little small downgrade?
And younger.
Yeah. Nelson younger.
Yeah.
I don't mean to get off topic, but there's a certain Saints fan in here, and I just want to say, come see us in the playoffs. Other than that, please, we're talking about our front office is this, our front office is that, because y'all ain't get
Corey Jackson.
What about your own
That's what you
first
talking
office,
about?
bro?
Oh, Corey again.
Man, Corey's a troll, man.
I'm mad he got my name.
Corey, you can come on in. Corey, you know what? I invited you here before and you didn't come. You made an excuse last time. What is the issue now? You keep making all these comments,
get him out
but you won't come in the locker room. I don't understand that.
Oh, we're gonna make the playoffs. Y'all gonna make the playoffs.
Oh no, Corey a troll.
No, he been here for a while.
I don't even talk to Saints fans no more, man, because all they can do is talk about, oh man, we 4-0 in the. I was like, listen, dude, we beat y'all in the game the only game that really mattered in the last 2 years because we weren't playoff teams.
8-year divisional champ.
Only game that mattered. And we retired y'all Hall of Fame.
But I will say this though, it's funny. It's funny how now as football fans we understand how this works, but we know our division, right? You can't now. I'm not worried about the Carolina Kitty Cats and the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not worried about it too. But it's funny how the media like saying it's just the Bucks and everybody else. I'm like,
no.
No, I can't say
No,
No,
that.
no, no. Booger
can't say that.
McFarland actually said the Saints. He chooses the Saints to win that division over the Bucks. By the
You
way,
only had what Keyshawn and Booger say that though.
I'm like the Bucks and everybody else. I'm like, yo, I get the Carolina Kitty Cats and the Atlanta Falcons, but
Y'all
Minnesota.
understand the Saints in the
like the Saints is right there, like in our division. Like they literally been beating our butts.
So I have a question on y'all. I have a question. I have a question, bro. Do y'all think if let's say we just don't beat the Saints in New Orleans, can we beat them in Tampa? Because
Yeah.
last few seasons I've seen they have not won in Tampa. The Saints
Well,
always beat us.
here's the thing
And
with
then
that. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, what I'm saying is they always do good in Tampa, but yet after they beat the Buccaneers that second time, they don't do nothing. Because remember in Miami, they got blown in their own hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
why they so focused on the? I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
He said, "Why
I'm
the Saints
sorry.
don't focus on us?"
my main thing is with the Saints, like we can beat them. Like they only scored what 9 points against us last year in our own home stadium. We can
And we
beat
scored
them.
0.
We
Can
can beat.
we just not talk about that one?
we got 3.
We get
That's
in
what
our
got
own
me. I'm like,
kind of
why?
play.
We scored, but what 3 points in the last 3 points in the last 2 home games against the Saints?
Yep.
But see the thing too, when we played them, like last year when we played them, Halloween night, we got so many penalties and just dumb calls. We shoot ourselves in the foot,
Big time.
and
Devin
then
White had like 2
try to
personal
come back and
fouls.
it's too late. And then the last game we played them. I mean, Leonard got hurt, Mike was hurt, got hurt. I don't think Byron really put too many good plays
Then
to
Dom got hurt too.
get us down there or
Well,
get us.
if you what here, but if you look at last year's game, the 9-0 game, both teams were hurt. Now let's not forget this. If we're gonna use the hurt card, then the Saints can use that too.
They was out what with the head coach and had a COVID scare on their team, plus
And
injury.
I mean, we can use it, but we got to give it to the other side
that's
too. And they still beat us with Taysom Hill.
so Byron just got out coached. That's what I'm saying. Like Byron,
Yeah, that's crazy, right? It's like, oh man.
No. So if we're talking about that second game, no, the first game, we got into our heads the first game. I just want to point that out. Our defense
In
got
New
into our
Orleans.
heads.
Every game
Yes.
against them, we
We
do.
could have won that game, but our defense got into our heads. We were causing penalties. Devin White made too many mistakes.
Yep.
2 of them that cost the
Yeah,
game.
I remember that. I
So
remember that.
I mean, we could have had that game. It's just one of those. Damn. Oh well, you know.
The
we
reason
had
why
the ball, accepted, but yeah, like when we played Saints and other like just get so frustrated and it costs us like penalties and then when our offense can't do nothing, that don't really help you.
I mean, what I
Yeah, and
think.
I honestly think that first game we got into our heads because of Jameis Winston. There was probably a lot of heat
But you
talking
can't
between
let
each
Trevor
other.
Siemian off a cold bench come in and do that. And even the analysts are saying, who are these no name receivers? This person is you can't do
Cooking them, boy.
you can't do that, especially when you still had Devin, you still had Carlton, you still had Dean, the grave diggers that's so called. You see, and they ain't used that name last year.
Yeah.
they got did their own grave last year. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, they
They
sit
got
on
What's
their
bone grave
going
graves.
last year,
on, man?
bro.
Yeah.
But one thing I'll say is I have to be honest about this. The Saints ain't scared of Tom Brady. That's just pretty much what it is. And they ain't scared of the Bucks. And what happens is it's before even Brady got here. The
That's
Saints
what I'm
have
saying.
won because they've been a more physical team. They
But
until
yet,
the Bucks stop getting punked out on the front in the trenches, it's gonna be the same way. Because I remember when they played the Giants that Monday night, it was Brady's first year here. Joe Judge said, and the game was close, and he said his strategy was, we're not going to try to beat Brady. We're going to try to beat his weapons because he's seen everything. And that's all you could do because this team could rush forward and they could cover and make it physical. With
But that's
Brady,
it.
yeah. And with Brady, see, the Rams got this too. He's a rhythm pass. He wants to get rid of that ball. You have to make him hold that ball a tick longer. And only a few teams that could do that. And also against our secondary, You have to have a quarterback that can cover every blade of grass with his arm. If you notice, those are the teams that they struggle with.
Facts. A big fact.
Well,
Rams beat us twice, both in the playoffs and in the regular season.
I don't want
Yeah.
to overreact to things, man. It's a lot of teams that we did not struggle with. I mean, it's the NFL sometimes.
Well, wait.
Matchup.
So,
There's a big difference between this year's schedule and last year's schedule.
whew, yeah, well,
It's a
Big
big
difference.
difference.
Big
It's a
difference.
huge difference. So let's not forget that. We had
you
an
got the
easier
first
schedule
place
last
schedule.
year. We had an easier schedule last year.
I mean, think about it like this. What's the most intriguing matchup this season? I mean, me personally, I've said it multiple times. I really want to see what this offense looks like against Baltimore coach defense. I really can't wait to see that.
A healthy Baltimore Ravens defense.
Yeah, that's like I said.
Healthy one?
Baltimore wins the division last year if they're healthy. So I don't know why everybody writes them off. But I have to say this. You know, somebody mentioned that is 2-2 is a possibility. The first 4 games. So if we went 2-2, who's the second loss to? I'm assuming you're assuming the Saints would be 2, and who's the second team?
That's the question I want to know too.
Is it
Green
what
Bay
Green
or the Chiefs?
Green Bay has a better
Chiefs.
defense than what they.
Probably the Chiefs.
Well, see, the reason why I can't go with the Chiefs, the one factor is, and just hear me out. I don't believe Mahomes can read a defense that well. That's just me. Yeah, he puts up numbers, but can he really properly read a defense?
Bruh,
You're right about that. You're right about that
I
because
tell you what
against the
about
Raiders
him.
and
What happened to the
Bengals,
He rose to
he really
every
didn't do
time.
good.
No, believe me when I say I'm expecting 3-1. But I'm saying 2-2 is realistic, and if we are 2-2, it'll be because of the Chiefs and the Saints.
I mean, to be honest with you, when I first saw the schedule, I was just like, okay, the first 5 games, worst case scenario, 4-1. But looking at defenses and how offensive liners could play or not play, you can't rule out 1-3, 2-2, 3-1, or 4-0.
All of it's in play. All of it's in play. Now, if you look at it from a standpoint of, if you look at it from this standpoint, Mike McCarthy, Dennis Allen, Matt LaFleur, and Andy Reid, from a coaching perspective versus Todd Bowles.
Yes, I mean, and think about this. Bowles is not going to sit there and focus all on defense as the head coach. Now, he can say that, but I'm like, dude, you have to oversee everything. You're the one that makes the final decision.
Do y'all think that might be the difference between but Bowles and Arians? Like Arians was more of a overall kind of guy versus Bowles is more of a box guy, like defense.
I don't know because Arians was he let Bowles do his thing on defense, man.
Like he didn't overall. I'm talking about managing. The team.
I think Leftwich and Tom Moore, the combination of Leftwich and Tom Moore, I think they have Clyde Christensen. I think they have a really good stranglehold on the offense to where Todd Bowles, he can say some simple
it's not
things,
about
but I don't
one.
think he's.
I'm talking about just Todd Bowles as a manager of the
game.
So he talking about a CEO type.
I mean, his Jets teams were competitive, man, and he didn't have no talent out there.
What's Bowl gonna? Okay? Let me ask you guys this: in this scenario, say you get a stop on 3rd down, you got 3 timeouts left, 2 minutes left before the half, and they punt the ball back deep. Are you gonna be aggressive and start a 2-minute drive, or you just gonna run the clock out? We've seen certain coaches, and I'm not gonna say no names, take a knee and run the clock out. Will he be aggressive?
Arians was aggressive.
Yeah,
We'll ask Coach Brady.
Say what now?
We'll ask Coach Brady.
Yeah, I mean
Coach Brady, man.
You really believe that Leftwich is calling those? I mean, he's calling the plays, but
he got a wristband. Well, Brady has a wristband, obviously, right?
Yeah, it's all New England style based plays. Ain't nothing but a deep square and a short, shallow cross, and a check down in the flat.
That's the bread and butter. That's obvious to see that. And for some strange reason, we run that a lot against the Saints. That don't work, man. Like that shallow crosses, the Saints are sitting on that. The Rams are sitting these teams that got secondaries. They we know what you like to do. Godwin over the middle, Evans the deep ball, Scotty Miller deep ball, check down in the Fournette.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now that we don't have Gronk, who's going to replace his role for that?
That's Julio Jones. Julio Jones. I think what they're gonna do with him
And Cam Brate.
and
Kyle Rudolph.
Just throwing it out there.
Hell no.
Can I ask you guys a question though? Guys and gal a question. Am I the only one that think they're gonna miss? I know he's nutty in a squirrel poop, but
Yes.
are they gonna miss AB because AB
Yes.
was the one receiver that could do everything?
Yes.
Yes, they gonna
No,
miss him.
man.
Yes.
wait,
Yes.
hold on. Check this stat
His
out.
production.
Check
Yes.
this stat out. 33%.
I can't go to work.
I'm sorry.
I was trying to figure out
Go ahead, Maya. Go ahead. Okay, so 33% of the passing plays on third down with the Gronk and AB. That's a lot.
Yes.
That's a lot. And both of them are not there. 33% of your throws on third down went to two guys. That's a lot.
And Grunk's blocking also. People got to forget that. Him
these are
being
little
so good as a
things.
blocker helped Wirfs get his feet wet. Now I think Wirfs is fine, but in that run game, Gronk was probably one of the best blocking tight ends ever, as well as catching, and that's something to think about as well. You know, who's going to replace that tight end blocking as well in the threat of
Oh,
catching?
Kelly.
The production is going to be a committee. Otten, Rudolph, Great, Julio. Make up for Gronkowski's not being there.
I
That's
think
what it
Ott's going to be a big difference maker this
I
season.
hope so, because have you seen Isaiah Likely?
Well, is it safe to say we know they're not going to come out trying to get Brady MVP this year? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I hope
No.
so.
I don't think.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I hope we don't chase records.
He's
Well,
gonna
let me-
chase for MVP.
Well, let me ask you this: if the first game they come out and they throw the ball over 35 times, is that going to be a concern for you guys?
Against the Cowboys? No.
No, man. You gotta understand.
I'm just saying,
Tom Brady
I'm gonna be like,
and the Buccaneers are a passing game team.
Remember
I'll just-
the percentage, right? Remember I was talking about, like, was it 68, 32% pass run? Now, I would like to see that kind of get a little, like, 60,
60, 40?
60, 40.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, like, at the
I know
beginning.
70 and 30.
Like at the beginning, like at the beginning, right? Kind of run the ball a little bit more at the beginning to get the O line. It's easier to run block than pass block for the young guys.
Bingo.
You know what I'm saying? So by easing those guys in the first 8 weeks to get the
I mean, look at your schedule
right.
for 8 weeks. Most of those teams, I mean, they're good defense, but most of them are not as good against the run. That's why I feel like
that's what I'm
you
saying.
should
Like,
be able to
if they
attack
can
them.
push that up to 40%, push up to 40%.
Week one that Trayvon Diggs is really gonna.
Oh no, that dude.
I heard he's having a bad camp. I heard he's been getting burnt a lot.
Feet on double.
Horrible camp.
Yeah.
I'm an Alabama fan, and I can tell you about Trayvon Diggs. When he decided to leave school, we kind of pitched in and got him a limo. That's all I got to say. That dude stunk in college.
I just hope that I think Todd Bowles is going to be a little more different than if you look at the Todd Bowles and Arians difference, right? Like, I think we're going to see a difference that we're not looking at. Like, I think Todd Bowles is going to approach some things that Arians did that was like, what? I think Todd Bowles is going to approach it in a different manner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, certain situations where 3rd and 2, bombs away. No, get the first down. Get the first down.
And on the flip,
Stop with the bombs away.
Don't give up 3rd and 20.
That's what I'm saying. I think Todd Bowles is going to be a little more different approaching some of these decisions in certain situational coaching. That's what Arians kind of messed up at last year. Situational coaching. You know, he just kind of like got out coached in certain situations, in my opinion.
Well,
I'm more worried about penalties than anything else, but yeah.
Well, to piggyback off what you said, how do you feel about this year considering it's a first place schedule? Look how many solid coaches you're going against this year.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
And with that being Bowles, I mean, what makes this interesting is because this is Bowles' second go round as a head coach. I mean, I feel like he's in a decent position. He said he's not going to make the same mistake twice, but it's going to come down to, like, okay, your decision making, like you said, you got to get off the field on third down. Like, do you say?
Here's another scenario. Like, going back to what you were saying, Big Buck. Like, here's an example right here. When Bowles was pure DC, he blitzed a lot and put his secondary in some bad situations. This year, as a head coach, does he think as an overall CEO, like, I can't put my defense or my specifically my secondary in a bad spot. We saw this multiple times as him as a DC. Now he has co-DC coordinators, Casey and Larry Foote. Some of that pressure gets relieved off of Bowles, and he can focus on the overall management of the team. Now, I don't know if he's going to call plays on defense. I don't know, but I recommend, I hope he's more of an oversight versus I want to be defense only. No, I wouldn't do that if I was him, man. I wouldn't do it.
You got to look at it. I mean, is it going to be more? Is it going to be a bunch of complimentary football this year? Like, I mean, that's the only way I see it. Like, I just don't. Like, it's just not. It ain't. It's not. I can't see the explosiveness yet. Like
it's gonna. I always say this. It's the first half of the season is always like you don't really know what you got. I said this the last couple of years. You don't really know what you really got until the second half of the season.
That's around like week 7 or week 6, something like that.
Yeah, week 7, 8, 9, somewhere
right there. Like that's when you kind of like, all right, I see what's going on here.
When is our bye?
Hit your stride.
Our bye will get week 9, ain't it?
No, we got a late. I think it's 11.
11 or 12.
11.
Oh, that's good. I'll take it.
Right.
Yeah, 11, 12. That's good.
I'm gonna be crossing my fingers.
Helps with injuries if we get any.
Boy,
as long as they don't do like we did last year with the bye, lost to the Saints, then come off a bye and lose to Washington. As long as they don't do that shit no more, I'm good.
Here's the telltale sign. What I don't want to see is this is like one of those preview seasons, like just one of them seasons that just be like, what in the heck is going on? Like one thing after another. Just all it carries over from training camp right on into the regular season, just one thing after another. Just like what is going on here? Like, the Ravens went through that last year. The Ravens went through this exact situation, and they just never could recover from the injuries and the extra stuff. They just could not recover. Like it was always something. And I hope the Bucs is not going down that same route, man. Like injury after injury, unfortunate situations.
I need to look at him. Like, how is it that every single year, and I know they got a new strength and conditioning coach, but how is it that almost all your wide receivers still get the same injury?
Hamstring.
And like 3 on one day. 3 in one day.
Now you do know Mike Evans is from that. That's required by Mike Evans to hurt his hamstring every year.
I'm not talking about Mike. I know Mike always had that issue.
Julio, he's a broken glass. Like, I mean, I live here in Georgia. Julio can't play a full 16 games. Like, he's explosive, but it's getting to a point where, like, I watched him play the last couple of years. Like when he was in Atlanta, he was coming off the field every third play. So. I mean, they like on critical downs, he's not in the game. So I mean, I think Julio will be on a pitch count.
Julio gonna be the Julio Kawhi Leonard Jones. That's
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the receiving thing is like Chris Godwin. I've said it. I don't think he's gonna play week 1, but I won't be surprised if he does or don't. But I'm leaning towards he's not gonna play week 1.
Okay, well, when do you think he's gonna play?
I say that. I mean, he's not gonna be on the pup list or anything. I can see them easing him in maybe around like after the after the 3rd or 4th game. Like I said, I told my ACL, that ain't something you can just rush back from. Like I mean, I get it. I mean, mine was over 20 years ago, but you just like for a receiver and you gonna play with a brace on. Coming in out of those cuts and stuff, that's just gonna be a lot. And then it's a mental thing too, because think about when he gets hit. If anybody goes low on him, or go at his knees, that's gonna be a kind of a little of a panic too. Like, dang.
It's interesting that you bring this up. This Chris Godwin situation. A lot of his catches are over the middle crossing routes.
Mm-hmm.
How did he get hurt?
Crossing route.
But I'll say this though, if this was the NFL of old, going back from 2010 and back, do he willingly go across the middle like that? Because he would be I'm a former defender. I'll be like, dude, I couldn't play in this league because I take everybody head off coming across him just for the hell of it.
Well, thank God it's not the 80s and the early 90s.
I mean, I'm just saying that's just how I play. Like it's just like the receiver don't. Like we grew up watching the receiver pay the price on cross into that valuable real estate. Like you saw what Lynch did when he patrolled the middle. Staff even said we used to have a bounty like, hey, don't let nobody come there. But like you said, back to your point, it's gonna be very mental with him. That's why I said just ease him back in. Don't rush him because it's a 17 game schedule. This is not a race; it's a marathon.
I don't. I hear you. I think Mike want to jump in, but I'm gonna say this real quick. I don't think. In my opinion, I don't think Chris Godwin playing week 1. I got that in my head already. Now week 2,
Well, he played week.
couple plays in there.
I think he does, but I think it'll just be a pitch count.
Yeah, I think he's a couple plays in there. A couple plays in there.
But want to get rid of it.
I just want to make a last remark. I gotta head out, but I do want to say I'm not too worried about it. If anything, I'm gonna say it like Mike Evans does. I like our chances better than any other team's chances. So I hope you guys have a good night and go Bucks.
See you, man.
Bro.
Yeah, I think Godwin's gonna play. Like I said, week 1, I don't think he's gonna play, but week 2, a little here, a little there. You know what I'm saying? Gotta have him for week 2. I mean, if he's running the way he's running now, well, he can play some week 2. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's gonna be a big. But the reason why I'm saying 3 or 4 is because, like I said, I know you want to get out there against the Saints because that's who you got hurt against, and that could be like a big mental boost to get out there and just finish the game. That's a big mental boost, and he makes a play and get tackles and get back up. That's a big mental boost too. You know, coming back from an injury, like, okay, this is the same team that hurt me. I made it through. You know, but
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, when Mike brought it up, that you think he's gonna play week 1, 10 plays, maybe. Situational. 10 plays.
I mean, but think about how would they use Godwin compared to how we've seen him being used the last 3 years. Like,
a quick screen.
Red zone.
Yeah.
Like nothing that requires him to, put a lot of.
Yeah, probably give him shorter routes.
Right. I mean, like I said, my opinion, I don't think he plays week 1. I think he plays week 2. But if he does play week 1, I'll be shocked. I will really be shocked.
Do you think we really need him week 1 though?
I don't think so. I don't
think so either.
I don't think so either.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't rush it. Like, I don't want.
Yeah, we don't really need him week 1.
So you'll have Mike.
You got Mike.
How's Gage?
Julio. That's enough to beat Dallas. Even if Julio.
Do we have an update on Gage?
He's Bucks in practice, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna be good.
He's out there, but he's not really practicing. I think they really wrapping everybody in bubble wrap now, because with all the injuries going on and stuff.
You probably ain't gonna see them doing much of that. They probably in walkthroughs. They probably already implementing stuff for Dallas right now.
Well, you got to keep in mind now, when this game is over with, a lot of your installs, like key installs, go into the next 2 weeks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really start focusing on the game plan for the first game of the season. So that's when you're gonna see those guys really like out there. Like right now, I don't think you're gonna see them out there. Really.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like in the morning time, that's when they let the media come in when they come out for their morning walkthrough to see that. But they actually
behind the scenes, I think behind the scenes they actually putting in some work. But I just want them to get some cohesion, though. Like we have yet to really see.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like, is the time down with Gage and Julio and Mike. I mean.
You know what though? Let me ask you this though. Let me ask y'all this. How big was missing 11 days? Tom Brady missing 11. How you think that's like a big deal? Like 11 days in camp?
I think so, like in a way, because it's like he hasn't got like any chemistry with like Hainsey. You know what I mean?
11. How many practice? So how many practices is it? How many practices is that? 11. That's 11 days, right? So that's a lot of practice time.
8 or 9, depending on best days off, stuff like that. But one thing is I have to bring up is guy was right about the offensive line. And also when you get those guys gelled together with the calls and stuff like that, and plus Russell, he needs Tyra Russell, Gage, Julio Jones, some of these other yeah. And my only thing with him missing camp was, why didn't they just say that, hey, the man was retired, he scheduled this trip, hey, we just go honor it and keep it moving? Why didn't they say that at the beginning?
Yeah, that's weird.
That was weird.
I think
at this point, I mean, he's back, but just to add on to what you say, like, I do think it's big that he missed those 11 days. but I also feel like on the other hand, maybe it ain't because like, dude, you're a 22-year vet. Like you
That's all thinking the
like
same thing too.
it could go both ways. But I'm like, as far as timing, the thing with Brady, the way he passes the ball, it's a timing thing. Get to a spot. It's not a get open and I can get you the ball. We have a timing where after this point, I need you to be to this point at this point of the snap. Or
11 days. Missed 11
In my
days.
opinion, like from as far as like why they probably didn't address it, I think Todd Bowles is more the type that's gonna be he holds more information back than what BA does. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just gonna be that type of coach. And then as far as Tom Brady, like to me, like what Big Buck said, he has 22 years. Like it would be
Mm-hmm.
different if it was his first year in the offense and then he was like, all right, I'm gonna take 11 days off.
Right.
But he knows the system. I mean, I know you got to get used to, some of your newest weapons, but Tom Brady gonna put in that work regardless.
So that means we can't get too frustrated in the first couple of weeks, right?
I think what it's gonna be is if we struggle, or should I say when, either one,
You know it's gonna come
the
up.
first 4 games, what the media gonna say?
The
It's
11
like
days
that
he missed.
because Tom Brady took off for 11 days.
But you know who's gonna take the heat? Todd Bowles.
No. Yeah,
It's
they're not. Brady's
definitely.
gonna get
Yeah, the media ain't gonna blame Brady at all if like we do badly.
No, they don't blame Brady.
No.
Media darling.
They're gonna go straight at Byron Leftwich.
And Sharp.
They're gonna tear Bowles and Leftwich up.
They're gonna go. Well, they're gonna do both, but I think they'll try to put more of it on Leftwich since he spends the most time with him. Even though
Todd Bowles gonna take that heat.
See,
I
like
think
you said,
can play it off. They're gonna throw it at both of them. I do.
Remember the media was after Arians like consistently. Like
why you
ain't changed this? And why you ain't changed that? Where's the motion? This and that, and this and that, and this and that. I'm like, ooh. So the media don't play about Tom Brady. They don't play.
I think this year for us, we really need to step up.
I mean, can I ask you guys this? With this schedule, do you see us? Can we in each game? Can you see us winning the line of scrimmage week in and week out? Because that's where the game is going to be won off the bat. Do you feel
not in the middle?
I can't wait. So remember I told y'all right before the season start, I'm going to go down the schedule again and give you my final schedule prediction. So I cannot wait to break this. So I can't wait to break this down. I cannot wait to break this down.
No, I'm just saying not wins and losses like.
No, I'm gonna break all that down. I'm gonna break all that down.
Okay, I got you. I'm just saying how with what we have right now, if the season the season's gonna start in a few weeks. How confident are you guys feeling right now at the line of scrimmage? Like, hey, do you feel like okay, we can control the line of scrimmage easily? Like, is it 50-50?
I kind of have a question like go along with that. So like, would you say that before Stinnie got injured, he was like our starting left guard probably by week 1?
No,
Stinnie
just the way he struggled in the preseason. No,
yeah, he was gonna play because the other dude.
Who's taking his spot right now?
It's gonna be Luke Gedeke. Watch.
Yeah,
it gotta be. Who else is there? Unless they make
ain't got nobody else.
It's that left side that's like killing me right now. Like that left offensive line side, like center.
You put Levert in there. I mean, I wouldn't trust him.
Hey, but can you package a deal with Scotty Miller to go trade for a left guard somewhere?
Nah.
I've watched so much preseason games. There's some good guys that's on that line gonna get cut, man. And Buck's gonna get one of them. Watch. I said it here first. They're gonna get one of them. They got to.
I believe you too, bro.
Get one of them.
I believe you too, bro.
Watch. They're gonna have to get a guard. They're gonna have to get a.
Yeah, I don't believe Bowlesby saying that he confident in all our guys on the line. Like,
he's
there's no way. Yeah,
it's media talk. It's media talk.
But
it's too many guys gonna be available. That's gonna be like that dude solid. Pick him up. I'm gonna be because I'm going to be scavenging the wire. I'm going to be looking like I remember him. I want him. Get him. You know what I'm saying? Because you need a guy that can play both guard positions or possibly all 3 interior.
I mean, how do you? I mean, with this year, do you feel like, for instance, with the center position, is that going to put more on Brady to make the checks at the line, like to slide the protection? Like, is that going to be more on him?
Yeah, until Hensley gets comfortable.
More on him.
Because I mean, it's like I said, that's just going to be interesting because, like I said, I would say week 2, 3, and 4, just the Saints, the Chiefs, and the Packers. that's gonna be some interesting games for him. Seeing Chris Jones, what's the dude in New
David
Orleans?
Onyemata or Kenny Clark
And Chris Jones, like those
Jones,
are
yeah.
gonna be some interesting checks that he's gonna have to go up against.
Well, Brady's gonna have more now. See, the fact that Robert Hensley is starting, Brady's going to basically do what Hensley should be doing at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Well, Hensley at some point is going to be calling the checks, but at the beginning of the season, Brady's going to do that. He's going to call the protection slide, left slide, right, squeeze. That's going to be Brady's job until Hensley get comfortable calling it out. So be on the lookout for that in the first 5, 6, 7 weeks. Like, just pay attention to that center quarterback chemistry right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, is Hensley is you gonna see him looking up and you know, like Jensen was like, you know, Jensen was always calling out the protections and he's blitzing the mic, you know, and Brady will call out the mic. He loves calling out the mic. You know, 53 is the mic or 58 is the mic. You know, he loves calling out the mic so the center can identify and set protection. But can Hensley do it himself?
I don't think.
I just wonder how other DCs are gonna like move their D line to like hit that side.
Attack.
They're gonna attack that B gap all day.
Attack.
Blitz up the middle too. Yeah.
What I'm gonna do if I was DC, I'll put my big D tackle over Shaq Mason, and I'll put my speed D tackle on and a linebacker up that A gap or that B gap, and blitz right between A gap between Hensley and Gedeke, and put a big guy over Shaq Mason. That's what I would do as a DC. That way Shaq Mason can't disengage and go help Hensley. He got to handle this powerful D tackle, Chris Jones, whatever, you know. I put your other guys over there.
Here's one thing also. That missing left guard, I think that puts a lot more pressure on Donovan Smith too.
Of course.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gonna definitely put huge pressure on him.
Allie's not there to bail him out anymore.
Oh
boy.
Oh boy.
Oh, 70.
Oh, what a season.
Tom Brady gonna be digging in their butt too.
Hey, so
no, it just sucks because it's his blind side. That's what makes it so much worse. Like, of course, like our weak line is on the blind
side. So you mean
side.
to tell me y'all ain't got no faith in Donovan Smith helping out Luke Gedeke? Y'all ain't got no faith in Donovan Smith helping him out?
No, this goes what you said a few weeks ago when we talked about the offensive line. Was the line really rated that well? Is it because Brady was just getting the ball out so fast they couldn't really block a true pass rush? Or did they really improve some?
Well, it's a combination of both. It's a combination.
I don't like saying we're a top 5 line. I was just like, I mean, they did their job. They didn't give up no sacks, but that was on the basis that Brady has a clock in his head. Hey, this ball got to come out because if I don't get it out, they're gonna get me.
I mean, he was second in getting rid of the ball in the NFL behind Roethlisberger. So it made the line look good. I mean, getting the ball out.
That's the last 2 years.
It's a mixture of the line got better and then Brady getting the ball out quick.
And one thing I got to add on that is this. The Arians, Dirk Cutter, 4 vertical schemes, you have to hold the ball. So the Brady don't have to hold the ball like that by getting it out.
Brady's not
and our wide receivers can't get all that separation that quickly either.
Brady has remember the offense from Dirk Cutter into Arians. When Brady got there, the ball was checked down a lot more than 2019. It was checked down a whole lot more because Brady knew I'm checking this ball down.
We didn't even know what a check down was in 2019.
That's why Leonard Fournette had like 68 catches or something like that. He had a lot of catches. Like Leonard Fournette, he's never been that type of dude. Never been that type of running back. Now he got over 60 catches.
I mean, we didn't even know what the tight end was in 2019. Technically, like you didn't know what.
Arians, the last time he had a good tight end in his office was Heath Miller.
But no, he had potential in Arizona. That dude out of Oklahoma some years ago.
He had a couple, but
you had potential.
He had Jermaine Gresham. He had Max Williams.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Jermaine Gresham.
But I'm just saying, like the only tight end that actually like going back the last good Heath Miller, Pittsburgh. He don't believe in tight ends until Brady was like, fam, no. I'm checking this ball down and give me Gronkowski. And get me AB. I need some guys that can get open. You ain't got time to be holding that ball. 7-step drops and all that all the time.
You get sacked a lot like that.
He was getting sacked in 2020 like that.
When you see
interception.
when the last time we saw Brady do a 5 or 7 step drop?
I mean, he does it. Don't get me wrong. Like they still take
What?
a shot.
The ball
That's
coming
what
out.
football is, ain't it?
No, I'm saying when Brady does a 5-step drop, the ball is coming out on that 5th step. I mean,
This is the thing about it. We watched him. I think we got so accustomed to watching him in New England get rid of the ball. When he get to the Bucs, it's like this ain't the same offense, and he realized that. That's why the offense changed when they was 7-5.
Yeah,
it changed. You had to. You can't. That is not winning football in the playoffs. Throwing the ball, and then you think about it, our Super Bowl year, Brady didn't have a great playoff. He didn't play well against the Saints.
No,
3 interceptions in that Green Bay game, right? Or like something like that.
And even the Saints game, he didn't play well at all.
No, he just knew not to turn the ball over the Saints game. That's all he realized.
He was aware. He was aware. We can't go into the playoffs chucking the ball around. You can't. It's that's not winning football. That's one of the reasons why we won the Super Bowl, because we scrapped that stupid all out, no risk and no biscuit crap and throw in some New England stuff. And then in 2021, you saw the difference when you actually had a whole off season to implement a little bit more adjustments to that no risk and no biscuit. That's why you think the media be joking about that stuff now. They weren't joking about it before, but now they joke about it like the no risk and no biscuit. Oh, now it's the no risk and no biscuit.
This is why.
But 2021, you only ran that no biscuit offense. You only ran that against teams below 500 when it actually looked good. You play a team above 500 playoff team with good coaching, you couldn't run that shit. Excuse my language. You couldn't run that style of offense.
We were 5-4 against teams with a confident coach, a confident roster.
5-4.
But see, that's why I said Byron Leftwich has to be more creative. Stop with all trying to pass. Like
I think we've seen the most of him. I don't think he's that creative.
But then that's the point. That's why when he considering him for Jacksonville, I was fine with that. I was fine.
I'm sorry. What did you say? You were not on me. I couldn't hear. Can you repeat that?
So you said you wanted him to go to Jacksonville, Maya? You wanted him to?
I didn't like it. If Byron would have went to Jacksonville, I would have been fine with it. Because to me, whenever I watch the games, the first drive we go on, I already know what they're gonna run on first down, do some passes on second and third, but he never really mixed it up though.
But how much of that was like just Byron though? Like, what if BA also had like the same? You know what I mean?
When the reports say he would come in and scrape some of the game plan, like with red pen, like nope.
Yeah.
Well, we know the first 15 play calls are scripted. We all know that, right?
But
I mean, if Leftwich wants to be a head coach, I got to see him another year without Brady, see how he does.
Well, no, wait a minute. Somebody made a good point. We about to see now that Arian's shadow is out the way. Okay, Leftwich. So we gonna see the difference between 2020 or 2019.
Yeah, I want to see him without BA in his ear.
Right, in his ear. Like we're gonna see. Like okay.
But you're running Tom Brady offense though.
Yeah, but see,
a mixture though. It's a mixture.
Tom Brady offense.
You have Russell Gage who can also throw. So are we gonna see something like that?
We didn't see too many trick plays. You know that? We don't see too many trick plays.
I would love to see a trick play once.
That would be a good.
Our trick play is the end around. That's pretty much it.
And that's dead in today's football. One thing y'all was talking about, what New England offense. The thing about New England offense is it's about efficiency. Today's NFL is about efficiency. It's just getting the ball down the field and take control shots. And because you just take shots all day, you're not in 12 personnel. Hell, you may not be in 11 personnel. Your quarterback's gonna get.
You know what? Here's the funny thing. Hold on. Here's the funny thing. Our personnel. You mentioned the 12 package. You could 12, 11, 13. Certain players are on the field gives away certain plays. Let me give you an example. So we got Kyle Rudolph, right? Kyle Rudolph is on the field. What you?
Some run.
Yes. Gronk, he didn't know. Well, Gronk, he had no idea.
But this is the only catch though with Gronk on the field. If you knew it was if Gronk lined up on the left side, you knew it was odds are it might be play action or just straight drop back pass.
He
lines up on the right. It was guaranteed.
And then if you put Cameron Brate in there, so let's just say if you go full wide, let's just say if you go Evans, Godwin, Gage, and Julio, obviously it's a pass. So you're not really fooling nobody with your personnel, but you're really giving it away.
That all day.
You need like an efficient offense to counter.
Wait, it goes back to what Mike was saying: the creativity with your personnel. You can't be predictable in personnel settings.
Right.
Good point, Mike. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Can't be predictable. He's been like that for the last couple of years.
Especially a lot of times because Mike will line up on the outside like all the time too. Like maybe like move these people around. Like put Mike in the slot one time or something like that.
When Mike lines up in the slot, right? Like when they go inverted trips,
when Mike is slot left, what I've noticed, slot left or slot right, he runs a seam route, like a seam fade, like with the Lattimore touchdown, right? That was like out of the slot. It wasn't from the outside. And then when he lines up outside, a lot of his routes are 15 yards down the field. And when he runs short routes, they don't throw him the ball. They don't throw Mike Evans the ball in short routes.
That's what I never figured out. Like, why you wouldn't just like they'll give you the window to run a simple slant. They don't even run it. I'm like, I'll take that all day.
Remember, it goes back to the separation. Separation.
Bottom league.
All caps, separation. He's not a separation guy. He's a down the field guy.
I wonder how many catches we've had these years were like most like caught in traffic. I feel like gotta be like top 5 or something for like all these years.
That's why Godwin. Why you think that's one of the reasons why they got Gage?
Yep. Because Evans is a 50-50 receiver. And Brady, you notice last year he started throwing it up more, but he kind of reminds me with Dak. Was it Dallas or Dez Bryant? They had a connection because Dak is not a 50-50 guy. If you ain't open to running your route correctly, and nobody's ever said Mike Evans is the greatest route runner. Brady ain't throwing you that ball. So Mike had to make those adjustments as well. Because you better run. If Brady says 9 yards, it better be 9 yards. You ain't around it.
Well, that explains.
I think he froze.
Was it you good?
I did.
Productions went down.
Oh.
Catch. Yeah. Y'all came down?
Yeah, can you repeat that? You froze up.
That's why his catches went down since Brady got there. Like, he's not catching those 80, 90 balls a year.
Yeah, because that's all Jameis did was just throw up to him to see what happens.
41 interceptions when Winston target Evans. 41 of those interceptions was out of his 88 interceptions, 41 was when he was targeting Mike Evans. Brady not doing that.
Do you think Mike Evans is back next year? Because he's a free agent.
Well, he go extension.
Yeah.
I extend him.
He's retired at Tampa.
There's no way you don't.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
But you got to pick guys. Jamel, Mike, Edwards. You gave Devin White his 5th-year option.
What did I tell y'all this offseason? We ain't keeping everybody.
No, hell no. You ain't bringing back. Like, you're going to have a totally different team next year. I mean, I don't want to jump to that right now, but you're definitely going to have a different team. It wouldn't surprise me if you trade some players that's got huge contracts next year.
They made that when O.J. Howard was right there to be traded, and you didn't do it.
Just get it. Wasn't it 2 years in a row they wanted to get a pick for him?
I don't understand. Why didn't they get anything? Now they got nothing out of him. Nothing. Like, I don't get that. So now here we go again. Murphy Bunton, Jamel Dean, Mike Edwards.
Devin, 5th-year option.
Winfield gonna be coming up soon too.
Winfield.
He's coming up on his 4th year next year. So
Tristan Wirfs eligible for extension next year.
First, get $20-something million. You gotta pay him.
Yeah, if he good, yeah.
First, so what do we do with Donovan Smith? What do we do with Donovan Smith?
Pay cut if he wants to stay here. He's got to.
To take a pay cut.
He's probably the greediest person on our team.
$73 million over the cap next year.
But see, people got to remember also, the Bucks probably people like this Roquan Smith thing. It got me thinking. The Bucks probably won't re-sign Devin White because are you got these other holes? Are you gonna pay a middle linebacker all that money?
You ain't winning games because of middle linebacker either.
That's what I'm saying. I would trade. They get something for him, just a pick. Because people don't realize the NFL, it's about you build your team through the draft, actually, because it's like the NBA with a soft cap and bird rights. That cap is hard. And yeah, you kick the can down the road, but just like student loans, your credit card, the bill comes due. You know?
Yeah.
This go back to what I said after they won the Super Bowl. I stated this a million times that 2021 draft, that whole draft should have been dedicated to rebuilding your defense for this year and next year. If you would have just went straight defense the first 3 picks, you would have had those guys.
It's gonna be, it's gonna be impossible to sign Dean Edwards and Murphy Bunting. It's gonna be impossible. It's gonna
they need free agents. Dean, I think Dean's going. He's going in free agent. I mean, he's not a top elite corner, but I think he's going to have a market if he touches free agents.
And you got to give Devin White a contract.
He can play that 5th year out, and then we'll talk. I think that's. I mean, they can either be cutthroat and say, "Hey, we'll talk when you play this 5th year option out since we picked it up." You know that's like we can get a deal, but you got the 5th year option.
It's really like what Devin White does this season too.
Right, and Tom Brady's cap hit next year is $35 million.
He'll retire by then, won't
he? Dead cap.
Oh yeah, sure enough. Yeah,
it's $35 million.
Yeah, I forgot they moved that money down.
And they gave Julio $6 million, and they gave Russell Gage 30. It's just like
and Mike,
Mike Evans eligible for extend. Do you extend him? Levante David, what do you do with him?
His contract next year.
Did Levante just signed a contract?
Yeah, but
his 2 years is up this year. Levante, his is up this year, but he got voidable years.
Gotcha.
Kick the can down the road.
I think though.
How many times can we kick it?
We're becoming the Saints. We are becoming Mickey Loomis in the Saints. We're kicking the can down the road like they doing.
I mean, who's going to get the extension to free up cap space next year? That's going to be the question you have to ask. Like, we give somebody an extension to free up like maybe 10 to 12, 15 million, but then you're going to have another huge cap hit the following year or down the road.
But the cap is going up, though, the TV deal. Let's not forget that.
But you know what thing, though? The Bucs made a mistake, I think, in my opinion here, is they paying like receivers giving Russell Gage money. You look at the draft, how many receivers came out. Heck, George Pickens for Georgia was a 2nd-round pick. I was like, why not just draft him in the 2nd round? I remember him. Or Mechie, when he got hurt, he was hurt. We had that guy because Bill Walsh always said, receiver is the last position on the team you fix. Look at how many come out and draft every year receiver. But you keep paying all these receivers.
It makes you look back and say, okay, look, Gage is good. $30 million.
Yeah, I would have drafted one.
I mean, but did you know when you signed Russell Gage that you were going to get Julio?
They put a lot of resources into the receiver core. Obviously, right? They put a lot of resources there because they like to throw the ball.
I mean, did you guys think when I thought immediately when Marpet announced his retirement, I thought all your funds were going to protect Brady. Like, okay, we won't fix this line.
But we didn't see this coming. Like, let's be honest, as fans, we didn't see this coming. We didn't see Marpet.
No, I'm just saying when it was announced, that's what I thought would have happened was, okay, let's put all our resources for the old line.
We had an idea Kappa wasn't coming back. We had an idea of that.
Oh, he had to leave. He got to get paid.
And then the Ryan Jensen injury, that
was unexpected.
That was unexpected. Yeah. And then the Stenny injury is like, holy crap, like what's going? And then Tristan Wirfs oblique and like wait a minute, we got all the receivers and look at our own line. Like, so
I don't know if he'll be 100%, but they do expect him back week 1. I'm pretty sure for Tristan against the Cowboys.
But you know what? I hate to get a Saints compliment, but you notice how like the Saints, for example, always draft trenches early on.
It's funny you say that. So let me run this down for you. Now, like I said, I follow a lot. Like I pay attention to a lot of stuff. I'm gonna name this out for y'all, and I want y'all to give me the answer on this. So when I call these names out in the Saints and what they've done in the last several years, Ramczyk, Cesar Ruiz, McCoy, Pete, Trevor Penning, Davenport, Peyton Turner.
Starters and impactful and one Pro Bowl.
Well, So what's the common denominator for all those guys?
They were drafted well.
Where?
You build a team in the second through fifth round.
What round they was drafted in?
Second through 5, if I'm not mistaken.
All first rounders. All first rounders. All of them.
Oh, really?
All of them. All first. The whole O line and they 2 pass rushers for the future.
First was drafted in the first round, wasn't he?
Yes, all of them first rounders.
Could have sworn he was in second, but okay.
Trevor Penning, first round.
Same thing.
Yeah, he was a lobby.
Too, though. They done the same thing, didn't they?
But Dallas did that. Dallas did that with Zach Martin and
Tyron Smith and all them.
Like all first rounders.
But look how long that took them to build that up, though. You know,
but they kept doing it a year after. Like they don't skip a year.
4 years in a row.
But I'm saying they don't skip a year. They keep doing it. They keep putting the first round trench in there. First round trench. First round trench.
Trenches.
First round trench.
Because
first round trench. It don't matter what side it is. They just keep doing it.
Yeah, because also with the trenches, those are positions where it is impossible to get in free agency if they're good like that. You have to draft your offensive, defensive lineman because unless like the Bucs with Kappa, when you just couldn't afford to keep them, those guys ain't going nowhere. They ain't keeping them unless they can't afford to keep them because they can't.
The Bucs are trying to go that route with Tristan Wirfs, Tryon, Luke Gedeke. So they're investing in the trenches early now. Mm-hmm. They like, hey, let's get these guys in the middle and down on the down lineman, D line, O line, Logan Hall. You know what I'm saying? Like, look what the Bucs doing. Let's get the trench. Duh. I've been saying this for years. Get the trenches right. Tristan Wirfs, Logan Hall, Joe Tryon. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Yeah, because
for years though. Don't forget that. Yeah.
Well, for example, Tristan Wirfs will never see trenches, until he's past his prime. That's why he draft people like that.
We won that O-line draft class, though. Let me tell you.
That's how you get an O-line. Like let's just say we got Tristan Wirfs, like Luke Gedeke. He jumps and makes that big jump as a second rounder. So your whole O-line is basically first and second rounders. You can put a quarterback back there and be like, oh, we can figure this out. But your O-line is solidified, and the Bucs are trying to do that, which is good.
Yeah, very, very.
And they need to do it next year too. They need to do it next year. Do it again.
Next 3 years.
First, second round, O-line or D-line. Do it again. Do it again. A ton of receivers and cornerbacks come out. You don't have to get them in the first and second. No more tight ends in the first round. No more freaking tight ends.
Unless it was Dalvin.
No offense to Devin White. No offense to Devin White. No more linebackers in the first round.
Yeah,
all
because
trenches.
Like
first,
with tight end
round. Period.
George Kittle fifth round.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think the Bucs are on the right track. They're on the right track for the future. Now they're gonna have to make some salary cap adjustments as far as Donovan Smith and Ryan Jensen, Leonard Fournette. These guys that they got high salaries at their positions. Who else?
We got leverage on Jensen now, don't we, because of injury?
Right. So we'll make some adjustments with our salary cap, but I think the Bucs gonna be fine. If they just play the cards right. Like, they're gonna have to make some tough decisions.
But that's a big if they play the card. That's a big if though.
Do you think
Go ahead. Y'all have a blessed. Now I'm gonna head out too.
All right,
love y'all, man. Love y'all, bro. Y'all take care.
Take it easy,
bro.
I like where the Bucs going at. They just gotta
go Bucs now.
I appreciate it. Just got a salary cap situation moving forward, and then like this season, and I told y'all this a couple years ago in 2020. This is a 2 or 3 year run, And what year are we in right now? 3.
This make or break.
This is it.
Brady ain't coming back.
This is it.
Come back.
So we gotta be ready. Gotta be ready moving forward.
I don't know about our QB situation moving forward, but
I have the answer. You got at least 5 QBs coming out in this draft. in the first round gonna be first round picks. And I know we may be worried about it because the Bucs have quarterbacks so long, but that's the job of the front office to figure it out. They should be already prepping for this already. You got a QB rich draft right now where the Bucs don't even have to mortgage their future to get a first round quarterback. Cause remember, Lamar Jackson was the last one in his class to get picked in the first round.
So wait
Josh
a minute.
third, I think.
What do you do with Kyle Trask then?
He's a second round pick, so hey, you draft the guy and forget his feelings. Better man win. Because remember, when RG3 got drafted, Kirk Cousins got drafted that same draft by Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? You have to make sure your position is straight. And if Kyle Trask hasn't shown anything where you say, yeah, we're not worried about quarterback next year, especially because you don't want to be Pittsburgh, where you're sitting there taking a Kenny Pickett who may be
Rudolph.
Yeah, you got to go after it. And if that guy don't work out, the money's not like it was when Jamarcus Russell them came out, where you can say, get somebody else. Look what happened in Arizona with Rosen and got Kyler Murray. He wasn't the guy.
Bad organization though. That desperate organization do desperate stuff.
Yeah,
but I'm mad at him for getting paid.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Bucs do. And this is why I said I go back months ago. I said if Kyle Trask don't win that backup job, that is a red flag.
You got to at least be a backup.
I really feel like Blaine's about to take this from him.
I said it already. He got the backup job.
Blaine got
it. He got it.
Blaine got it.
Kyle Trask had a chance to take the job this past weekend. Or make it a conversation, right? Like, well, Kyle Trask 2 weeks in a row, he's played very well. Third week in a row, he played well. Now you can't even make an argument. Now it's like, no, he's not a backup. Maybe Blaine got it.
They want to go. It's put like this: they want to go with a young guy, but he ain't giving them a reason to go with it.
Why you think he getting all the snaps?
Yep.
Why you think he getting all the snaps? They got to see. They trying to see what they got.
Mm-hmm. Blaine ain't our future for next year. This got to be Tom's last year. There's no way he's coming back.
Quarterback is the big question mark for next year. You know what I'm saying? Like let's keep it 100. But at the end of the day, going back to this season coming up, we got a lot of things to talk about in the next couple of weeks. And I'm starting to get into my regular season mode. I'm watching what the Cowboys doing. Obviously, that's the first game of the season. I'll be there, so I'm spending more time watching what they doing. What they fan base talking about, watching their little practices, just trying to pick up on some things that I could talk about come week one.
Gallup's not making it back week one, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, and then also I'm doing my research on week 2 because I'll be at that game as well, the Saints game here in New Orleans. So I'm doing 2 teams at the same time. Research.
I keep seeing people say we're going to split or like 2-0 the Saints. I'm like, what gives you like that idea that we're just going to do that? But we say that every year, and I'm like, look what happened.
Well, look, we did it last year and the year before. Oh, we're going to split, and then we got swept. So it's like, but
I can't get my hopes up anymore.
I'm going to hold off on my final schedule prediction before the season starts. After the last game of the season, after the last preseason game, and so the first game's on the 12th. So I'll do a one last schedule prediction. I'll go game by game. I'll break it down, win, loss. And I'll give you my final prediction.
Are you doing a locker room on that, or is it just you?
I'll do a locker room on that.
All right.
I'll do a locker room on that one. Because I think that'll be a good conversation. And like I said, I'll bring it up. I'll do my prediction, and then I'll let y'all discuss what I put out as far as what the record gonna be, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna listen. That particular locker room, I'm not even gonna say too much in there. I'm just saying this is the schedule I think. Y'all go ahead and critique what I'm win loss, because I'm gonna have different outcomes, as far as somebody might say, no, we're gonna win that game. We might have a couple of 15-2s. Some people are, oh, that's 15-2 or 14-3, or 17-0,
They're not taking in that account that like we have a weak line right now. We going against strong D lines this year,
and this is factoring in the harder schedule. So I'm really going. I really got to break this down. This is why I got to wait till the preseason over with, and wait till right before the game start, the first game of the season, to come out with that. Because I got to really break this down, because this is a really good schedule. We're going to find out 13-4 last year, right? So we're gonna find out, and that was with an easier schedule, right? So that's fine. But this is a much competitive schedule, so it's gonna be very, very fun to break this schedule down from a win-loss perspective. And I'm breaking it down from the coaching all the way down to player 53. So I got to do a lot of research in the next couple of weeks with these teams, because that's why I got to wait till after the roster cuts, the final roster cuts. That's why I got to wait before I do that video, because I got to see what teams look like. Like, okay, 53 man, boom. Okay, roster. Okay, this roster. Every team on our schedule, I got to look at their roster and break it down.
You know what the Cowboys got going for them?
Right, and I got to compare it to our roster.
Yeah.
And what we got.
You know what they got going for them? We play in prime time. We don't do well in prime time.
We got five prime time.
Yeah, 5.
We got 5 this year.
Prime time be our worst enemy.
Probably our last year having this many games for a while.
Good, I don't got to stay up late anymore.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just keeping it real, because y'all know if Brady leaves or retires, we'll be lucky to get 1, maybe 2 next year. Y'all know this.
Yeah, but it is nice to go to Ray J and not have God.
You get that.
No, the game gonna still be sold out because they made everybody buy tickets for 2 years.
First customers, right? 2-year commitment, right?
Yeah, we want 2 years. You want these tickets? You gonna give us 2 years? They know what time.
And they got the new seats in there too behind the.
I heard they look like crap. I seen a picture of it, like bleachers.
Yeah, they don't have like the food things over there anymore. I think it's just the seats now.
But that's just season tickets though. But that's not talking about the general tickets. So there might be plenty available next year. General tickets, like, just pop up and be like, oh, I got a ticket. I walked in, I got one. So we got. There's a lot of things that's going to transpire this year. It's going to be a roller coaster, folks. This will not be one of those we're just going to walk in the park, eating ice cream and laughing at everybody. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Easy. It's not going to be one of those situations where you think you're just going to walk into the season as a Bucs fan and laugh at everybody every game. Good luck with that. I need you to put your football hat on and understand the schedule is no joke, man. I'm telling you, it is no joke.
I mean, you got folks, it's like when you say that, you have some folks talking about, the Rams ain't going to be no threat to us. And I'm like, dude, they beat us twice last year. Well, they ain't got.
And the year before that.
Okay, that's fine. To those people that say the Rams ain't gonna be no threat, Saints, Chiefs, whatever, what are they basing that on? Because they don't have any history to go off of. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't have like the recent like.
Yeah, most of the folks what are they basing on? They still stuck in 2020. I mean,
yeah, postseason run too.
Hell, the Rams beat us in 2020, so I mean, they don't have our number.
That's why those Bucs fans, and look, I'm all about we all in the same ship, but I want those Bucs fans to come in the locker room, because I just want to hear their thought process on these teams are no threat, but you don't have no facts to back that.
Dude, trust me.
Every team's a threat. Like we see Washington football team every time we verse them is.
Where is like when they talk about the Rams and the Saints, and where is your facts to base that on them not being a threat? I want those Pirates and Sea Bandits to come in the locker room. I want those
8 out of the last 9, but all they gonna say, well, we beat them when it count. That's the first thing gonna come out their mouth. And I'm like, dude,
when you say a team is not a threat, that means you've dominated that team. That means they like that team. That team not beating us. So when you say the Saints and the Rams not a threat, or when they say that, based on what?
Yeah, I agree. I agree totally with you. Like, I just, when they say it, I'll be like, okay, and keep it moving. I don't even entertain the conversation.
Send them my way. I just want to hear the thought process behind that. You know what I'm saying?
You do it to me because I can't listen. I mean, my wife is not big on football, but she can give a better argument than that.
I have yet to have one of those Bucs fans like that to come on the channel, which is interesting.
Like you haven't had a delusional fan, basically.
Right. I have yet to encounter one of those from the Facebook groups that just come in and say 15-2. Okay, well, explain that to me. I just want to hear.
Yeah, you have more Saints fans that join in too than like those Bucs fans.
Right. I just want to hear the thought process of they're not a threat. Okay, explain it. How? Well, because we beat them that one time. Remember the word threat, the definition of threat. I gotta ask them that question. You know what I'm saying? What's the definition of threat? Do you understand what a threat is? Like, I just got to understand the thinking caps. You know what I'm saying? Like some of our fans, they get so caught up in the fandom. Like they just, I'm a Bucks fan and I get it, but you got to be realistic. You got to understand, be realistic, because if you come out here and preach this 15-2 and 16-1, you on a small boat when you do that.
But they following that ESPN NFL network, like they did a schedule prediction the month before last. The ones that were saying like 13-4 and 14-3 and stuff. Some guy predicted one guy predicted 14-3 and another one said 13-4 again. And the way he talked about the schedule, it was just like he really thinks it's gonna be a brief. I'm sitting there like,
so the guy said we're gonna lose 4 games.
Yeah, and I said, dude, hey, but this the funny thing. Them 4 games, he said, somehow the Saints gonna sweep you. And I'm like, okay, I get that logic, what you were saying, but the other 2 losses, I'm just like, you don't think these other games, like you literally think we're just gonna, I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible neither.
Right, anything's possible, but I'm just saying
anything's possible. But you're saying based on, I have yet to see a team with a first place schedule go through and just dominate from start to finish. Yeah, you may get a nice record, but it's an ugly nice record. You got to win, which that's all that matters, but you don't look like a dominant team.
Well, you got to factor in injuries. Like, there's a lot of things that you got to take into consideration, and especially with us coming into the season, it's like we already got a bunch of noise on our end internally with injuries and the Tom Brady situation. Is he here? Like, Julio. We got all this already to deal with, and then we got this first place schedule. So that's why I got to wait till the rosters are finished before I come out and say a schedule, a record. I just can't do it now. But
it's 53 next week, right?
Right, next week. People are doing that now.
Don't they have a cut down tomorrow?
Yeah,
got to be done to 80 tomorrow.
Yeah, right. 80. And then
wait, how many are we cutting tomorrow?
One. According to what's already been happening with Steny and Cam Gill, I think they got to cut one more.
Yeah, they already down to 80 spots already.
Like, 81 right now. So they got one.
Cam Gill and Steny are just done for the season. Like done.
Yeah, they already put it. They on IR. They're done.
If you go on IR right now, you're done.
Gotcha.
That's why Ryan Jensen's not on IR.
It's so weird how they're still not talking about that. Like, they don't know.
Well, I put 2 and 2 together. So what they're doing is, and other fans talked about this, other Bucks fans, and appreciate y'all for talking about it. What they're doing is they're holding his roster spot. So when the final 53 cut is, when the final roster is made, then you put him on IR.
Because he can come back after 6.
Yeah. Right.
Gotcha.
That's why he's not on IR right now. They can't do that right now. You go on IR in the training camp, you're done for the season. Smart. I mean, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
So you got to hold his roster spot. That's why the Bucks ain't run out and grab J.C. Treader. Like, no, we got Jansen and Robert Haseley. That's the reason why they haven't grabbed J.C. Treader.
Well, it is good that they think that he can come back though too. So,
but they just the way they handled and this weirdness. We don't know. And just come out and say he gonna come. Like all this weird trying to be like Belichick stuff. Like what's going on here? Like
we're gonna put him on IR next week. Like
God, dang, like they just came. The Bucks had like
who are they trying to fool? You know what I mean?
Right. The Brady situation, the play, like the Jansen situation, like they just being weird, like with this information. Like, just tell it for what it is. Like, why are you
trying to be so secretive? It makes no sense.
Like the confident Bucks fans know what you're doing with Jensen. Like
we know, we get it. It took me a second to figure it out because I kept asking myself, why they not putting them on IR right now? And then a couple fans and other Facebook groups was like, well, because if you put them on IR right now, he can't come back. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, you got that from Facebook? Dang, I wouldn't expect that.
There's some fans there that they talk. They try to have genuine football conversations. So I saw it and I was like, well, let me engage in this right here, because I don't engage in Facebook conversations. I do a lot of myself here. So that's why I'll be like, where are those people that be talking like reckless Bucks fans? Or even good ones.
If you could stream on Facebook, like do StreamYard on Facebook, you would probably get those Bucks fans to say, "Oh, we're gonna go undefeated." And all, yeah.
They'll probably come on and they'll probably chime in too.
Yeah.
I need to figure that out too. Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna try to connect because I got Twitter and YouTube connected to StreamYard. So I'm gonna see if I can get Facebook.
Yeah, you'll find the unrealistic ones on there for sure. There's no way they
I
don't
just
join.
want to talk to them though. I literally just want to talk to them. I literally do, just like this. Like I just want to say, hey, you know what I'm saying?
What's
Like,
your thought process?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I know most of my powers to C banders now. I know most of y'all thought process. You're like, we're not crazy. Like we got a couple of arguments and whatever disagreements, but we're not all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I try to that's why I don't concentrate on clickbait or getting those crazy like saying outrageous stuff about the Bucks and trying to get a lot of views. I don't do that. I can't do that. Like I just can't push this weird media clickbait narrative. Can't do it.
Yeah.
That's why my channel is authentic. You know what I'm saying? It's I have people come on here, real people, not made up people. I don't do all that, man. People behind the keyboard that you don't know who that is. Like that's why I try to invite people to come into the locker room so y'all can see like it ain't just me talking. It's you guys talking as well. Like that's how I do it here, man. Like it's funny that I get Saints fans in the chat room and some Cowboys fans sometimes. Like it's starting to kind of get out and leak out to like other fan bases. They're like, oh, so like that's why I'm gonna try to get every game. I'm gonna try to get other fan bases, the team that we play that week, to come in to the locker room. Let me talk about their team. Don't jump on them, but you know, invite them in and
more collabs, like branch out.
Right, the Cowboys. I want a couple of those to come on in here. We had one, Marley Marl. We had one. I wonder if he come back, invite him back on. But I can't wait to get one of those. I can definitely get a Saints fan on week 2.
Oh yeah, that's easy. They're always in here.
Yeah, they always in here. I want to get a Chiefs or the Packers fans in the locker room, so I'm gonna reach out to some of their fans and invite them. So every week I'm gonna try to have somebody from that fan base insight on their team. You know what I'm saying? A healthy debate. A healthy conversation about the matchups. And y'all come and y'all can talk to them. Obviously, but we ain't trying to fight them. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna beat us. But
over the years, I haven't seen much Panthers or Falcons fans in our chat room.
I've reached out to them, and for some strange reason, like y'all right here, come on over to the locker room. All right, crickets. I don't know if they embarrassed or something like that. Like keep pounding, Pat Coltrane, all these. I reached out to them. Hey, come on over.
But it's weird because they be getting on the Saints all the time, so I don't know like why it's different with us.
But they don't consider us like rivals.
Well, yeah, because
we were basement for so long.
The Falcons and Saints were the old NFC West, and we're the old NFC Central. So I never looked like we're divisional opponents now, but I never looked at them as a rival. I always
we was NFC North with the Lions.
But Central back in the day, it was Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit. Like those are. I still get amped up for those games when I watch them play. I'm like, man, this is all right here.
Like if you look at it, we'll look at the Packers and the Lions more in the or those more of a rivals to us because that's what I grew up on.
Yeah, that's what I grew up on.
I grew up on that NFC North, the Central. Like we grew up on that era. So now trying to develop a rivalry with the Saints and the Falcons and the Panthers is like,
or even playing against the Eagles too.
Right.
So more or less playoffs though. Like when we saw them that little.
Well, the old school Buck fans will look at the Lions, Vikings, and Packers and Bears. That's
I always every time like I'm amped up when they play the Packers.
Wasn't born for that yet.
Right. Yeah, that was the black. That's the black and blue division, by the way. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was called. So that was when it was getting head busted. Lynch and all.
Was that creamsicles?
Creamsicles, yeah. So
yeah,
I mean, so like I said, it's 17 games. I'm hoping to see, different fan bases come in every week when the season starts. I'm gonna reach out to all these fan bases and some of their people and like, hey, come on over for a preview video and then the after video. I'm trying to, and in some of those games I'll be there in person. So
are you going?
I want you to get the people that beat us all the time. That's what I want.
Are you going to the 49ers game?
So I looked at the schedule. I looked at the plane tickets. I looked at the timing and all that. So, the Christmas, I won't be able to go to the Arizona game. That's Christmas.
Oh no!
I got to turn.
Well, we play Christmas Day, right?
Yeah, so I won't. The tickets are insane. Like the flights, like it's insane to go there.
Be insane.
I won't be able to go to.
Are you gonna go to the last game in here in Atlanta, or you not? Because that's New Year's, you're not gonna go.
That's on the 7th or 8th.
Yeah, are you going to that game or you not going?
So what I got planned, I got the Cowboys Saints. I'm looking at the Pittsburgh game. Those flights are they're cheap, and the 49er game.
Yeah, you posted something on your community tab. I think 49ers was one of them.
Yeah, 49ers one of them. So and then in the Carolina game.
No, because I normally try to go to I go to the Atlanta game every year, and then I didn't like where I live at now. Driving to Charlotte from Atlanta is like 3 hours. Like if I can find a reasonable ticket, sometimes I'll drive over there if I can get it.
I was looking at it from flight, and I'm not going to do like a 3-day trip. It's like I fly in on a
fly
Sunday,
in that night, fly back in, fly
on a Sunday, and then fly back Monday. Or that's the San Francisco game. I can fly to San Francisco that morning and fly back at night in San Francisco and come back here at around about 10 o'clock. So a 1-day trip, I can in the morning time leave to San Francisco, and then I go. It's San Francisco it was New Orleans to Denver, and then Denver to San Francisco. The game started at 4:25, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
And I get to that game. When that game's over with, drive to the airport right where the game over with, go right to the airport, right back on the plane, be back home at like 11 something at night, all in 1 day.
That's true. I mean,
jet lag.
I know, right?
I've looked at something possibly like that because what was it? Because I thought about the Cleveland game going to the Cleveland.
That was Cleveland. No, too expensive. The sticks are too expensive. Cleveland's a weird city to fly in. Yeah, I do that. I wanted to go to that game, but I threw it out.
I was surprised you find a lot of tickets for that because don't they got like the most like home attendance?
Yeah.
What about Pittsburgh game? That's in Pittsburgh, correct?
Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh. But those tickets, that flight is easy to get, which is interesting. That flight is easy to get.
Yeah, it just piqued my curiosity. When was the last time we played on a holiday? Because like we've got holidays twice this year. Huh? We haven't played on a holiday in a while, huh?
Last time we played on a holiday was Thanksgiving in 2006, if I'm not correct.
Dang, that's crazy.
So let me go back and look at what I posted. I posted the Steelers, Panthers, 49ers. So Cowboys, Saints, Steelers, Panthers, 49ers. That's three. Okay. Actually, all those are all away games for the Bucks.
So you're not making it to any home games?
No, I haven't. No, I'm saying that's just the away games. I didn't put
oh, gotcha.
I didn't put any home games down yet. I was just looking at the away games. That's why if you look at the post, it was all away games for the Bucks. So
no Germany, right?
No Germany. No. That's five away games that I'm looking at going to total. And then maybe 2 or 3 home games.
So yeah, that's my plan is to try to make a home game this year. Like I'm eyeing the Thursday night Baltimore game.
We play Baltimore at home. That's gonna be a good game.
Oh, that's true.
But it's a Thursday night game, so that's the only. It can be done like I can, like you said, I could fly down, like I can literally
same day, like literally, like I mean, well,
fly back.
If it's Thursday night, you can fly down like Thursday afternoon,
chill,
and then go to the game, and then and Friday morning, fly back. So in New Orleans, the Tampa ticket is dirt cheap, so I'm not worried about that. So I can go to home games like. That's why I didn't bring him up. I know I can go to a home game. It's right there. It's like an hour and 10-minute flight.
Yo, Buckos, I never asked you how loud that stadium. New Orleans Stadium.
Oh, it's a monster.
Blow your ears out.
It's loud. They go hard. Like that's New Orleans, Pittsburgh, Dallas, Cleveland. Those fan bases, they go hard for their teams, man. Like they. Like just the Raiders or back then the Oakland Raiders. Oakland was the black hole. That was a crazy place to talk about fan bases like Packers. You talk about fan bases, you'd be like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? The Bears, like it's like whoa, Soldier Field, the whole, you know what I'm saying, Lambeau Field, Heinz Field. Eagles fans, they grab it. They just like. That's why I hope the Bucks fans can get to that level at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like be mentioned at the top tier when it comes to like strong fan bases.
Well, it's got to be this year.
That can travel. Like all those fan bases I named, they travel.
Yeah, especially Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh deep everywhere.
Yeah, so we don't. That's why the Bucs is always.
Well, we did travel well to LA though.
But that's what I'm saying.
That one year,
the Bucs fan base, and I don't know everybody's financial situation, but compared to these other fan bases, man, we are behind. I'm being real with y'all. I travel, so we're behind. And like this season, y'all gonna see it yourself. I'm gonna be out at these games, away games. You're gonna see. I'm like, where the Bucs fans at? I'm gonna go live and everything. Like, oh, look at this.
We've been having better fan bases in England, the UK.
Now, I'll say this: at like you have a big like in Atlanta, you have a huge Buck fans following. Believe it or not, I mean, it's still the city still is Falcons, but like when you go to the game every year, like you will be blown away how deep Buck fans are in there. Like, and this even go back to the lost decade. Like, you have a ton of Buck fans that show up for that game. It don't look like it because it's so much red, but you get to walk and it seems like every 10th person, like, dang, they got a Bucks jersey on. Then you'll see a group of 5 Bucks jersey. Like, it's pretty. It's like since I've moved up here, I'm like, man, it's pretty deep up here. You know, like
I just feel like we like don't travel well, but I feel like we're more so like if like we live in that area, we'll go to the game. Like that's like that they're playing in. That's how I feel like we are.
I'm trying to get more into traveling a little bit, go to the games like Charlotte, Nashville.
That's the reason why I go to the games, because I don't want to be a channel or a person that just talk. I want to be like, oh, he actually goes to the game. So you can't question what type of fan I am. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like I'm like, oh, he talk about the game, but he actually go to the games and he actually talks about what he see. You know what I'm saying? I can actually do a live report on what the game look like in person, because what we see on TV is a lot different what we see in person. Trust me.
Way different when you see it up close. It's way different.
So, you know, that's just
we got season tickets for the home games. It's pretty interesting, like compared to just watching it on TV.
That's why I wanted to, especially like, you know, the COVID hit, you know, in 2020, and then 2021 was still kind of off a little bit, and then 2022, it's wide open pretty much.
Full speed, right?
Right. So that's why I got like 7-8 games planned out. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait. So, gentlemen, any closing remarks that you have for today's conversation? Titans game, that was horrible. Special teams, you know.
I stopped watching the second half.
That's what I meant to bring up earlier. I signed on late. I didn't know if you touched on that. Special teams was horrible. And like I said, me and you've been talking about this guy for the last 3 or 4 years, Keith Armstrong. Like, send up, like, you got to fix it, dude, or you just ain't it as a special teams coordinator. You know, it's week 3 of the this is third and final preseason game. So, your boy Trask, is he gonna get a lot of snaps to see if he's, you know, is he that guy? You know, can he be in the discussion just to be the number 2? Better yet, can he beat out Ryan Griffin to be the 3rd quarterback? You know, can he even do that? So I mean, it's a lot, you know. So we're just gonna see what happens each day. Like I said, another week close to the season. You know, keep doing your thing, man. You know, I just look forward to the next time you go live, discuss whatever, you know.
Yeah, I go live. We got the Chargers this weekend. I think, right? Chargers preseason.
Cool. Bad special teams versus bad special teams. I wonder who's going to win that.
The 2 worst since 2009. So I'll do another video. Well, I'll do a preview video, obviously. Thursday, from Wednesday or Thursday on that. So and then I'll do a live stream for that game as well. So so that'll be the last game. You know, I actually sat through a whole preseason game. It was tough though.
Yeah. We got two more Sundays regular season.
Yep.
Regular season what, the 11th, September 11th.
Bills and Rams.
That's gonna be a good game. That's a good one.
Right up. They kick it right out off. Bills and Rams. Like.
Yep.
And,
no,
you know,
to touch on that, like special teams that you're talking about, I saw a post which is like most of our gunners are like wide R's, and that's why we keep missing tackles because we don't have like any cornerback like gunners to like go and get that like tackle. You know what I mean? So like I saw that too. He's like, that's why we don't tackle well because all of our gunners have been wide receivers. Because you remember like in 2017 when we had like Ryan Smith and like those cornerbacks when we actually like made the tackles and stuff.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes, that's a good point too.
Yeah, I thought about that. I was like, why is most of our like wide receivers gunners? Why we have like no cornerbacks in there? People who can
Armstrong.
tackle. Yeah.
He think
He
he's
gotta
doing
be
something.
gone. He gotta be gone next year. There's no way he's still staying.
He
There's no
swear,
way.
he swear he be doing something, bro. He swear. I know he. I know somebody relayed this to him at some point. I know they be like, man, Buckles not gonna be on you, dog. Somebody is getting back. I know some of these players. They hear about my channel. I know they do.
If only he had a number. If only Keith Armstrong had a number.
What? Oh, man, shoot. What they call him? Somebody call him Weak Armstrong.
Weak Armstrong.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
Grislow, you got any more closing remarks, man?
Just can't wait for the season to start. Chargers. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to make it at halftime on that game. Just basically just people just playing for their jobs at that point.
Yeah, I'm gonna see how we're looking in the third quarter because I don't know.
Yeah.
Man. I don't know if I can sit through.
You streamed all the Chargers? I didn't. I mean Titans. I didn't make it to that game.
What? Did I? Talking about,
yeah, the Titans game. Did you stream that whole game? I didn't make it to that, so I didn't know.
Yeah,
dang, I feel bad for you. I had to stop watching after halftime. I couldn't watch it.
I was finding stuff to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think
our preseason is so trash. Like all the time. I don't know why.
I don't think I'm gonna do it at the third game. We're gonna see. Like, I'll probably stop at halftime. Because I mean,
thank God there's not 4 anymore.
Because at halftime, I think you kind of know who made the roster.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You see who made like that impact. Tyler Johnson. Oh my gosh, that's all I want to say. That man wants a job. He gonna get it too.
Well, I don't have anything else to say. Well, my closing remarks is great conversation, lady and gentlemen. I highly appreciate y'all coming on in, and once again, great conversation, a great recap. And we always start out, talking about the game, and then we kind of venture on into the details of our organization and the fan base and the schedule and stuff like that. So it's always good to kind of just keep talking about it, keep everybody aware of what's going on. And I had a great time.
Yeah.
Always.
Oh wait, time. One more thing real quick. I just want to say like this, like for like the chat room, like every locker room talk, it's always the OGs in here. Like, where's the new people at?
I think there's a lot of it's intimidating. It can get kind of,
I get you. Yeah.
Some people kind of like they kind of get nervous because not only that you're talking to me, but there's a lot of people watching you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think a lot of people public speaking. I never was a public speaking guy, so I had to overcome this. Like when I started the channel, I had to overcome the factor, of like, can I talk like live and have a mic and people gonna critique me and whatever. I overcome that. So when having somebody come in the locker room with this setup, it's intimidating. It ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? Because you just can't talk about it. Like you gotta have to have some type of knowledge and delivery. You know what I'm saying? Like because all the OGs, they're accustomed now. They can let it flow, let it rip. Big Buck and all these other guys like you wish.
Yeah.
You Grizz, like all you guys are just comfortable now. It just takes time for. Hopefully this season we'll get some new people in. We've seen some new people in preseason. You know what I'm saying? In training camp. So
that's true. Yeah.
Hopefully we see more.
And I wanted to like ask you this because like I've been getting DMs. Like I don't know if like you've heard from like another like Buck channel because you did a collab with the Tampa too. But this man's like been like a ghost for like months now, and everyone's like getting worried. I just didn't know if like you heard anything from him or seen anything. Like he hasn't posted on his Instagram in months and like no YouTube content. So people are just starting to get worried. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows about Tampa too.
He comes around like when the season starts. That's you like If he don't say nothing when the season starts, or if he don't say nothing with the 53-man roster or something, or going into week 1, then I might be concerned. Then, but
how long has it been though since he posted a video?
I don't even think he posted Super Bowl, did he? Oh no, not Super. I don't think.
So the whole
I think it's been like almost.
Like the
whole off season's just been He talks like sometimes during off season. I think he did last year, but this year he's just been kind of like
wow.
Go. He hasn't responded to any like Instagram like DMs, like seeing if he was okay. So like one of his like people like because like I'm a moderator in his chat too, messaged me and I tried to message him seeing if he was okay. I never got a response.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
At all.
I just want to make that aware in case like anyone in the chat knows or just like make sure he's good. That's all.
Right. Oh, okay. I hope he's okay. I mean,
me too.
Like I said, I always shout out shout out to Bucks channels and the Bucks fan base. They we don't. It's not a lot of us, obviously, compared to the other teams.
Yeah, small.
So I try to represent, and those other guys and ladies, they doing a good job. Whether it's Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, it doesn't matter. I mean, just represent. You know what I'm saying, and do the best you can. And sometimes life pops up. And you got to take care of life, and that's what comes before YouTube or social media. So we don't know what he got.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So just be patient, and when the season start, if he pops up, then we good to go. If not, then there's something.
Life. All it is.
Right.
Life. Can't do anything about it.
My closing remarks is hopefully we see a better product this weekend, and I'll do a recap.
100%.
And hopefully, now that I think everything we know what's going on now. We are all caught up now, right? Brady's back. I think we pretty much know what's going on with Jensen, Stinny, all this. So we kind of caught up with everything. So, like I said, Thursday I'll do a preview video. Saturday I'll do a live stream, most likely until halftime, and then I'll close it out at halftime, or like let it run through halftime, and then just talk about it a little bit more and close it out. And then we getting ready for the season. I'm getting some new gear. So what you see, it's just whatever.
Well, we waited for years for that setup.
But it's so crazy because I'm so accustomed to this, like, setup like just white background. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Yeah.
But this year it won't be just white. Let's just say that.
Hey, you got that lucky couch already, right?
That couch always works.
Make sure you eat the apple too on game day.
Oh yeah, the apple.
Yeah, there's some stuff. I might even do. I might put some sound effects during the game. Like,
Didn't we win with your beanie?
Yeah.
You have the beanie on? Yeah. Probably ran that back too.
Whatever you do, please don't miss out on walking the plank. Please make that consistent.
Yeah. Every recap.
Okay.
The game
And
on
make sure
Sunday,
you call those numbers too if they need to be called.
Yeah, the game on Sunday, the recap on Monday. I'm not missing no recaps. Walking the plank is back. It is back on Monday.
Boy, I was like, man, I wish he'll bring walking the plank back.
Line them up, baby. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have one of them, like I don't know if I might get one of those list things, and just write the names down and be like, call the name out one by one.
He got like a hat. He just draws the names out.
And get some footsteps. And walk it out. We'll see. We're gonna have some fun.
He's like, you're halfway off the plank. If you keep going this direction, you're gonna.
We're gonna set sail every week, man. So.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait. With that being said, gentlemen, I'm gonna close this out.
It's been good.
It's been good, man. I'll take it easy.
Appreciate it.
Realest Bucks channel here.
Yes, sir.
See you.
Subscribe, like, comment, share on all the videos. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify all new videos that's posted on this channel. With that being said, shouts out to all the Pirates, Sea Bandits, and all the Bucks channels and fans out there. Fire those cannons, seize the day, raise the flag. Hashtag no risky, no biscuit. Hashtag bombs away. Hashtag facts over feelings. Hashtag stay humble. Hashtag what does your eyes tell you. Hashtag probability versus possibility. Hashtag don't get mad at me. Hashtag trenches matter. Hashtag Super Bowl the bus. I'll see y'all Thursday. And oh, by the way, Dalvin Cook ranked number 31 NFL player top 100. Meanwhile, OJ Howard is fighting for a roster spot on the Buffalo Bills. I had to throw that in there. Should have drafted Dalvin Cook. Buck was like out. Peace.